The following tale is true, and by true, I mean false. It's all lies, but they're entertaining lies. And in the end, isn't that the real truth? The answer is no.
How's it going, guys? So this one is kind of a funny one, but about 8 months ago, Shadiversity uploaded this video calling YouTube is killing my channel. And I decided to go through it and do a channel autopsy because I'm quite interested in YouTube analytics and how to get views and things like that. And I thought it was a fun stream. But it was, like I said, it was about 8 months ago, and there was one chat that stood out in my mind because I remember every single chat that is put in my audience. Okay, I remember every single person, every single chat. I remember them all. One guy said in the chat, Shad makes this same video every 6 months about how YouTube is killing his channel and complaining that he's not getting enough views. And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny if true. So lo and behold, 7 months later, this got uploaded because this is 8 months ago. 1 month ago, this video was uploaded. Giving up. Says, I'm close to giving up. Proof that the algorithm is determined to kill this channel. And I added this to my list of things to watch because it's in my my folder of things to watch on a rainy day. But I didn't actually watch this video, and I never got around to this video. It's like a 14-minute video. But as it so happens, as of yesterday, Shad uploaded a new video. So it's like the technology thing, how technology doubles every 6 months or something. Shad's videos are doubling in, like, my channel is dying every 6 months, but now it's 3 months, now it's 1 month because it's only been 1 month since the last my channel is dying video. So he uploaded this video as of yesterday, and it popped up in my feed, so it wasn't being suppressed by the algorithm or anything. But somebody also sent it to me, and I took a look at it while I was in the gym, and I thought it'd be interesting. We might go to check it out. And that's called Sword Content on YouTube is Dead. So what now? So not only did they kill Shad's channel, they killed it again, and now it's just sword content in general. His channel is under attack. They just don't want the man to succeed. But if you want me to succeed, then you better like the stream because that's the only way that the YouTube algorithm notices me. Now, if we go back to this video that we looked at, and we went pretty in depth. It was a bit autistic in the level of detail we went to, looking at uploads and everything like that. I kind of came to the conclusion that his channel was not being suppressed, but that he was uncertain of what his actual content is. And I think that is probably still true today. And that is that Shad thinks that he's a sword YouTuber, and I don't think so. I think that he's a entertainment pop culture YouTuber because the majority of his videos that were doing well were all based around anime swords or could this movie sword work? Or it seemed to be more fun entertainment content. But when you go to his channel stats, there's actually a very funny little thing here, but we'll see in a second. But it should come up in a second. His category is education. And I think this is a mistake on his part as well, but I might talk about that a bit later. But I think he's incorrectly categorized himself. But I saw this. In the last 6 months, in the last 6 months, he's had 77 million views. And I was like, well, that can't be right. There's no way that could be right. How could the YouTube be suppressing him if he's getting 77,000 views? Now, this is slightly incorrect. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on. But it's not that he got 77 million views during this time period. Because you can see here there's a spike where he got 66 million views on one day. And that doesn't make a lot of sense, but something refreshed in my mind is that he was complaining about shorts that were killing his channel because he got an explosive amount of views from shorts, and shorts give you a lot of views, but not so much money. It's more for gaining subscribers. But he thought that the shorts were killing his channel, so he unlisted all of his shorts. So as of last month, it looks like he did it on, it looks like on like New Year's Day, like the beginning of the year, he relisted all his shorts. So if you go to his shorts page now, they're all there again. Like water cut, like he's got this water cut bottle thing. And let's see, when was this uploaded? Yeah, so this is from 2 years ago. So he unlisted and relisted all the videos. So the explosive amount of views is because he decided to restore these to his channel. And it's actually kind of interesting because when I was going through his channelytics sort of thing, I dismissed this. You can actually see this perfect gap where he's growing, constantly growing, and then there's a dip. This is when he unlisted all the shorts, okay? And then his channel continued to go up, and then it kind of got up. You can actually see here, kind of fantastic, really, that the curve is kind of unchanged by removing and then restoring the shorts. So I thought that was kind of funny. But if we go back to those channel sets, in the last 6 months, if we minus, 65 million views, then he's actually gotten 11 million views over 6 months. And that's pretty good, provided those are not all from shorts content. People saying that I'm Andy Warski. I did the channel analytics thing way before Warski, okay? If anything, he stole that from me. I'm pretty sure I invented looking at YouTube stats. Anyway, let's go to later. So he has been re-uploading shorts now, and he's also uploading videos. And it looks like he's getting like 25,000, 30,000, 30,000, 23,000, 55,000. For having 1 million subscribers, that's not great. But it's not like his channel's dead. And he's got a few outliers. Like 3 weeks ago, he did a video with 150,000. Let me see. He did this one, this Naruto sword. Does it make any sense? And it looks like he's got Sasuke's sword. And this did about 260,000 views. And I actually did watch this video. I watched this video of my own volition prior to this stream. And because I'll say something that's going to be a little bit controversial, is that I don't think Shad's videos are bad. I actually enjoy them. But they're not videos I want to watch every day. I want to watch them maybe once a month. And I only want to watch 1 or 2, maybe binge like 3 or 4 of them. And then I just disappear and I don't watch them anymore. And I know probably a lot of people in the chat right now aren't the biggest fans of Shad. But I don't think the content's bad. It's just that it's not content that you want to watch all the time. And I think that for many viewers, that's the same. And I don't think that Shad quite understands this, because when people do watch his content, they come, they watch, they consume, then they go away, and they come back like a month or 2 months later, and he's like, well, why people aren't watching my videos? And it's just because I don't think most people want to know this much in-depth knowledge about swords. I feel like this is a genre that is, I'll be honest, I do think it's kind of on the decline. And I think he's going to go and talk about that point when he talks about how sword content is dead on YouTube. But he's been doing this for like 10 years, and audiences change over time when they grow up. Like, let's say you get a 22-year-old subscribing to you and they love swords. And when I was 22, I actually bought a sword. I got it for a $1 reserve off of the New Zealand website called Trade Me, which is like eBay or something. And it was actually really good quality, because usually these swords go for a couple $100, but it was $1 reserve. So it's trying to trick people into bidding up like to real high. I waited until 3 a.m. in the morning and sniped it. So I got it for $1. And I was like, there's no way this is going to be great quality. And it was amazing. And we just cut up watermelons and bottles, and we had so much fun. But the thing is, 10 years later, guys aren't as interested in buying swords. So I feel like a large percentage of his audience has just aged out of his content. And the ones that are kind of the new people that are watching him are more interested in the pop culture stuff. Like maybe they want to know about the Naruto sword or Naruto sword, however you say it. I don't know. Why don't you ask someone that lives in Japan? But the people that like anime sword content and Demon Slayer content and things like that, they're not too interested in something a bit more intellectual, right? Like the perplexing truth behind sword names and terminology. That's like a very esoteric knowledge that people probably don't care about generally, unless you're really into swords. And if you're really into swords, you probably know that already. So let's see what he says. We'll go and check out that. Like, I was going to watch this video, not that one. Sorry, we don't need this one anymore. I was going to do this. I was going to do a whole breakdown of this video, because he actually shows some of his stats. But one of the things that happens in this is that so I actually did preview this video when it came out a month ago. And like I said, I was going to do a stream about it, but I just got on the back burner. I never did it. But maybe we'll refer to this video later. Maybe we'll see about it. But he goes in and exposes some of his actual stats, which is very useful for determining whether his channel is being suppressed or not. But he doesn't show one of the critical pieces of data that I would need to make a conclusive judgment on that. But oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm going to reopen this. Sorry, this one. I wanted to show one thing. Because I do have a little notepad up here with some questions, and we're going to be talking a little bit about and some things, and what Shad also mentions. But is this a case of is it true that his channel is being unfairly treated, or is it confirmation bias? And I think that there's probably a lot of confirmation bias in this, particularly in January, because January as a whole on YouTube has less views. That is something that basically every YouTuber experiences. And a lot of people will go onto their analytics in January, see they're getting less views, and they'll say, well, my channel's being suppressed. My channel's being suppressed, and they ask other people, is your channel being suppressed? And they're like, yeah, my channel's being suppressed too. That means that proves it. That proves it. And you always notice these things when it's bad. Like, nobody complains about their channel losing views when it's getting, like, when you're going up and up and up and up and up, right? Like, I never complain when I'm getting a banger video. It's got 200,000 views in 24 hours. I never complain to YouTube and say, like, is this right? Like, maybe I don't deserve these. No, nobody ever does that. They only have a problem when their views aren't getting enough. The second one is something that I've heard recently and more people are adopting, but replace algorithm with audience. So when you say the algorithm is killing my channel, consider thinking the phrase, the audience is killing my channel. And to make this point with it, let's see. So there's this guy here, Drunk Dragon. He was the pinned comment on this this post. He says, I can tell you with complete sincerity that this is the first time I've seen you in my YouTube feed in 3 months. I love watching this channel as often as I can, and the fact this video has only popped up now is proof that YouTube needs to fix this crap. This person, I guarantee you, does not have subscribed with the notification bell on to all. If you do that, YouTube will send you every notification. That's how it works. If you're just subscribed and you've got none or personalized, then you're only going to get content that you've seen in the last month typically. And if you don't watch a video, YouTube is very, very, I'm unsubscribing just so I can reprove this later. YouTube is very, very harsh on that. Like, if you watch one of my videos and then I stream every day for the next month, but you skip all of those videos because you're busy or just don't feel like watching them, YouTube will no longer recommend my content to you because it's decided that you no longer want to watch it. It sounds silly even if you subscribe, but that's the way it works. So Shad pinned this comment and he also hearted it, which means that he agrees with it. This is true. This is his confirmation bias. And this guy's kind of self-snitching on himself, because the fact that he did not watch a Shad video in 3 months is why the YouTube algorithm was not recommending him a Shad video. The reason he got recommended this video is because this video popped off. Because every time Shad makes a video saying, my YouTube channel is dying, it gets like a boost. It's higher than his regular content. This one got 300,000 views, for example. And I think the same thing is happening with the previous one. I'm close to giving up, 200,000. And this one is popping off as well. It's got 4 times as many views as his last video. So it's kind of like a negative feedback loop in the way, because the video gets more popular and YouTube says, oh, this video is a standout video. I'm going to recommend it to other people that have not watched a Shad video in a while. They see it and then they're like, oh my goodness, it's true. I haven't seen a Shad video in a while. The thing is, most people only have about 5 channels that they actually really care about checking. Like there's a lot of channels that I like to watch. For example, EFAP. Every Frame of Pause. I love watching that show. It's great, but I don't have time to watch it all the time because every episode is like 8 hours long. And I'm subscribed to them, but I never see them in my subscription tab because every time I want to watch them, I just search for them. And if this person, Drunk Dragon, really wanted to see Shad's channel every time, he'd be searching for Shad. Like, let's see what Shad's up to, but he doesn't do that because he's expecting that it'll just pop up when he wants to watch it. And the YouTube algorithm is very good at actually determining what you're going to watch and where you're going to watch it and when you're going to watch it. So I think that's what's happening here. Now, I could be wrong. We don't have all the information. But like I said, we might go through this 10-minute one or the 14-minute one to see the finer details. But I think first we'll go with this new one, which is called Sword Content on YouTube is Dead. So now what? And this video I have previewed a little bit. And Shad begins the video with a bunch of YouTube experts and other people that are talking about how YouTube is killing their channels. And then he goes on to explain that he's right all along and the haters are just criticizing him. And I'm not a hater, honestly. Maybe some people think that I am, but I'm not. But it is interesting to see the other opinions that people have of Shad, because apparently he's quite a controversial individual. I don't know too much about that. I know that people are very grumpy about his AI takes and other stuff, but I haven't looked too much into that. All right. So we'll get through this. We'll watch at a regular speed. We might bump it up to 1.25. Let's see how this video begins, and we'll be breaking and pausing. There'll be a lot of pausing in this. So if you want to go see it, and I'm going to like this video because look at that. Got to give him a little bit of a help. You could like my video too. All right, let's see.
So I don't know if you've noticed.
Let me know if the audio is okay.
YouTube has made some changes.
Something within YouTube itself has changed. The algorithm has changed. Something has changed.
Something has changed. Mr. Beast. Oh no, Mr. Beast is going down. Probably because Mr. Beast was busy doing something else at that time.
And it's whatever it is, it's not helping.
Here's kind of what's going on. The social platforms, all of the social platforms, they are deprioritizing content.
Something strange is happening on YouTube. They just
Now he didn't actually include the whole clip to that, but I think he goes back to it. But it is true that YouTube is moving away from the subscriber model. YouTube doesn't blow up channels anymore. They blow up videos now. So if your videos are good, the audience does come. And if your other videos are good, those get recommended alongside them. And you have this sort of, you can get a channel blow up if you have lots of good videos at the same time. But it is true that YouTube wanted to get rid of the subscriber model. They've even thought about removing the count entirely. But YouTube has got very angry, and then they didn't do that. But it's not impossible that'll happen in the future. And that would be very interesting to see. It's what's more valuable these days than your subscriber count is your returning viewer rate. That's what's really important. That's why I kind of don't really care about looking at my subscriber numbers anymore, because it's not really accurate. Basically, you should kind of imagine as a channel has basically no subscribers, and however much videos you're getting return views every month, that's your actual subscriber base. So for example, if we go by my returning channels, or I guess just views per month on this channel, it would be somewhere in the range of, looks like about 115,000 people, which is pretty good, I think, for a channel this size. And Gorga says, yay, EFAP, love your stream, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you. Swedish bros. We've got a lot of Swedish bros in the chat. Anyway, let's continue.
made a big update on their algorithm, and I've never seen anything like this in my 10 years on YouTube.
Social media and YouTube is rapidly changing.
I think the unintended consequence will be they are probably going to kill YouTubers the way we know them today.
This is just not true. Like, if they're going to kill YouTubers is the way we know them, perhaps. But has anyone noticed this? And put a 1 in the chat if you have. YouTube did change something, and now new channels are getting recommended to me. Like, last year, I used to never see any channel that I wasn't already searching for, basically, unless it was like a massive viral video. But now when I go onto my homepage, I'll see like a channel or a video that has like 10 views. It's like a video or a channel that just has got no subscribers whatsoever. And this is good. A lot of people have like, well, they're just recommending shit that's not getting watched. This means that small channels can grow on YouTube again. Like, people were complaining about this for the longest time, that it was unfair for small channels because all the big channels they were gobbling up all the views and there was no way to possibly grow. But now something did change. I will say that. Something did change, and now new channels have a chance. And a lot of the big channels are very upset about that because while they claim that they want the ecosystem to be fair, when new channels actually do get recommended, they say, well, they're taking my views away from me. Those used to be mine. The rich need to stay rich. It's kind of a little bit cringe when I see that like big channels complain about how small channels are getting views now. But it is what it is. And many of the small channels that get recommended to me are not what I want to watch, honestly. But I have found a few gems actually, and I was going to talk about one of them because one of them is actually under a kind of attack at the moment. This is going to be my alternate topic for tonight, but I might have to do it to another time this week. And that is there's a Japanese guy called what was his name? Shohei, I think. He's a Japanese guy called Shohei Kondo, and he's just like a Japanese guy that reacts to stuff. And he made a reaction to Assassin's Creed, which is really shit and really bad. And it got flagged for hate speech because Ubisoft or fanboys of Ubisoft are flagging his channel now. And he's a small channel, and I only found him through this new system change. So we might go about through that later, but he's actually a pretty cool little channel. He's only got a couple thousand subscribers, I think, but hopefully he gets more. It's been flagged 8 times now, apparently. That's kind of crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, but I actually did watch that channel before you sent it through to me, Tiny Gray, because I was watching some of his videos about how bad content creators in Japan, stuff like that. All right. This is another sort of guy. Sorry to interview. We're 36 seconds into the video and 90 minutes in. We'll be out of here before lunchtime, I'm sure.
The kind of video and topic that used to get at least 100,000 views, if more, now tends to be stuck at 20, 30, 40, something like that.
These numbers now, followers, subscribers, size of network, are useless.
that it used to be way higher and now keeps going down and down and down and down and down, makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. It makes you feel like no matter what you do, no matter what improvements you try to make.
Basically,
this is true though. When you do make YouTube videos and you don't get a good response, or you think that something's going to be amazing, it doesn't happen, it is pretty depressing. I'll be honest, but that's part of the game. YouTube is a really fun job, and you've got these dizzying highs and terrifying lows, and that's kind of the way it is. And I feel like when people start complaining about the algorithm in particular, I think it kind of makes the audience realize, like, sense weakness. And this might just be like my own little theory. I'm not sure. If you agree with me, let me know. But like, for example, I showed you three images of Shad giving it. Like, do you want to support the man that like does this? I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe YouTube is suppressing him. But when I hear people talking about giving up, YouTube is killing my channel, like, it kind of makes me not want to watch his content in the future, because it's just kind of whining. It's like, sometimes you got to fake it until you make it. And people typically want to watch someone that's successful. The kind of viewers that stick around when you're complaining about things don't stick around for a very long time. And they're usually a very niche audience.
what you're saying is that we are seeing more content from strangers
That's good.
than we are from the channels we're subscribed to.
They
That's
are
good, though.
deprioritizing content from the friends. For example, if it's a social network, they're deprioritizing it from businesses, and they're also deprioritizing it from subscribers. And everybody on YouTube that has worked really hard to grow a big subscriber base can understand this. And Sean, you know this really well, right? You've got like 1 million plus subscribers on one of your channels, and you and I both know that they do not see ever all of the content, despite all this work and all these years of work that you put in.
I mean, unless you're like a really new channel, you almost always have less views than your subscribers, just because a lot of people subscribe and just don't watch all your content, or they subscribe for one thing and you start making something else. It's pretty typical to have dead subscribers on a channel. When you're in a small range, like when you're in a really like profitable growth phase as a small YouTuber, maybe 20,000 subs or something like that, and you're getting like 40K views a video, that feels great. But if you get like over 100,000, over 1 million, it's pretty normal to see ranges from like 30,000 to 200,000, even if you've got 1 million subscribers. It's kind of just the way it works, unless you're like really the top of your game, or you've built up an audience solely based off your personality. It's kind of an interesting choice that YouTubers actually have to make: is do you want to focus on content, or do you want to focus on being a personality? And there is advantages to both. If you're a personality, you can just do whatever you want. Like Twitch streamers are kind of a more good example of a personality, because you can go onto Twitch and it's your favorite dude and he's just playing a video game for 8 hours a day, and then playing a different video game for 8 hours a day, and you'll watch it because you're there for the guy, not really the game. And sometimes the game is the incentive as well. But on the other side, some people, and I'd probably consider this more my content, but maybe it's changing, is we make content about topics, and that's the draw that brings people in. And like I said, there's pros and cons to both. But the guys that make their channel about their personality, those are the ones that have the same number of people coming back every day. So it's kind of like making it about yourself is kind of like the more steady, and maybe not. I don't know. This is kind of just something going through my mind at the moment. But I kind of feel like the more consistent views are people that make it about themselves, because it's always the same. And then the people with their more explosive, risky growth, those are the guys that make video about various topics. But there's elements of both in each, Big Chewy with a 5 pound says, I have noticed that change and it sucks. Seeing my feed full of 40-second videos from random 40-year-old men recording whatever's in front of them is trash. I haven't seen those. I haven't seen those videos. The recommendations I've been getting so far have been pretty much based on what I've been watching recently. I've been seeing a lot of small Japan content creators, which is nice. I'll go to my homepage right now. Let me see what I can find, and see if I can find like a random one. I can see Shizzy streaming. I can see a channel that I don't watch anymore. Got some Legal Moin sets. Got some clip channels. I'm trying to find like a real surprise one. So far, they're all kind of normal. I can't find the rando one. Can't find one right now. But YouTube does test out some new things. And I do think that's a good thing, to prevent the system from getting too stale, and from preventing the barrier of entry from being insurmountable for new channels or channels that come late, because you don't want to have the same 10 people running everything on YouTube forever, right? Like, we don't want Mr. Beast to be on top forever. But anyway, sorry, we just got up to Shad's content. Like, what is Shad going to say? This is going to be a long one. Kind of funny that I mentioned EFAP in the beginning, because this is going to be something of an EFAP as we're pausing all the time.
All right, then. What now?
What now? What now, Shad? Also, one thing, this is a pretty short logo, so I'm not going to criticize this one too much. But if you go to a typical Shadiversity video, and this is kind of an evidence of like an old channel in my opinion, but if I go to one of his videos, so let's say the Ninja Gaiden is not fake, Ninja fooled me. Let's have a look. All right, so he's got the Shadiversity intro.
Shadiversity.
Great.
All right, so it's like 8 seconds long. That's too long. I would almost be certain that he has a massive drop off in the first 8 seconds. In the way that YouTube works now, and audiences do change, and content changes, and things evolve, and things like that. Wasting the first essentially 10 seconds of a video is not good for retention. You really have to hook people in the first 10 seconds, or they're just going to dip out. That's just the way it is. You really need like a spicy hook in a good video. And some people make this mistake. I still make this mistake in my own videos. In streams is a bit different, which is nice, because I do have 2 channels where I do where I do mostly just like video content. Then I have a stream channel as well. This one you're watching right now. Wasting that time at the beginning is really bad for getting new viewers. If people are like your regular people, they're going to watch it. They'll watch it every time because they're kind of used to it. It kind of builds that like, it's almost like a Pavlovian response, but it's too long. If you want a channel intro, it's got to be like 2 seconds tops, honestly. And this is kind of a mark of an old style of YouTube. And you don't see it as much in new successful channels anymore because it's just not effective. But you got this fancy intro, you want to use it every time. I get it. But if you got rid of that channel intro, I think you would see a spike in the retention in the first 30 seconds, which is critical in the landscape of current YouTube. Anyway, back to what he was saying. All right, we'll actually see him say something now.
Sword content on YouTube, especially the way it has existed for my entire time making content for over 10 years, very much seems dead, especially with the recent changes that have been happening on YouTube. There might be...
Okay, so he hasn't really told us what the changes are. Maybe he will. Do we think that sword content on YouTube is dead? I certainly think it's less popular. I will kind of agree with this point, that I think that sword content in the current day and age is less popular than it would have been in the early noughties or like the 2010s, because I don't know, like it's just not as popular as a hobby. It's not as cool anymore. Like it used to be cool to have a sword. It's not as much. Maybe it's because I was younger. Sword making content, like blacksmithing content, that is pretty popular. That's actually some content that I really like watching. But I think that there's the only times I really see swords getting popular, honestly, is when it's something around the media that's around that time. So a couple, like maybe 2 years ago, and I really do think that this is part of Shad's success when he was getting more success. Obviously, he's been a bit downtrodden at the moment, but when he was gaining a lot of views, I think it was literally because he was making videos about a popular anime, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer was very popular, and it was an anime that was centered around swords. And when we looked at some of his videos, like if we go to his most popular videos, a lot of them are based around pop culture. Like they've got the Thanos sword as his second highest video. Goblin Slayer, that's 2 million views. You've got Kenshin. Let's see. Trying to find some more recent ones. They've got some armored boobs. That's always a good one because that's kind of spicy and controversial. You can get those feminists to comment on it and stuff like that. I thought he had more popular ones. Did he remove them? I was sure that he had some more popular anime ones, but maybe not. I almost guaranteed I saw those. Maybe they just weren't up there in the really high range. Anyway, we'll continue. Maybe I was proven wrong just now. Who knows?
a couple of different ways in which it will still be around, but it is now plain to see that the type of content as it has existed in the past will never be the means to be able to sustain a large channel in the future or support a business. As someone who
this is just factually inaccurate. You don't need a large amount of views or subscribers to support a small business or even a large business, but you have to have a business model that is based around it. And you can make a very profitable business, like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month with less than 10,000 subscribers if you have something you're marketing. I don't think Shad sells anything except for his books, but that's not really sword related. There's a sword on the cover, but it's not like someone that's interested in buying sword products is not going to buy the sword book just because they went to his channel. They're going to buy the book because they like his channel, like they like him, right? If Shad had his own line of swords, something like that, or if he had like a sword training online seminar, I don't know, just spitballing here. You can make a business out of that, but you have to be careful because YouTube doesn't like it when you send people off platform as well. That's another thing you have to be worried about. He has sponsors. Well, yeah, but sponsors is one thing, but sponsors don't make as much money as having like a business that is being marketed through a YouTube channel. Like I'm talking about, getting clients, setting up things, this sort of stuff.
Genuinely loves this content. I've consumed and made it, yes, for over 10 years now.
So I'll go back a bit because I cut him off there. We need to go back.
Be able to sustain a large channel in the future or support a business. As someone who genuinely loves this content, I've consumed and made it, yes, for over 10 years now. This does genuinely suck. I do have
okay. So he's been doing this for 10 years. The average lifespan channel of a YouTube channel is 5 years. So he's already exceeded expectations by about 200%. But again, think about the way that people change, in how culture change, how YouTube changes over 10 years. Like this may be a case, and we may find out that it's kind of an old man doesn't know how it works anymore. And I think that we're probably not that far apart in age, actually. What is he, like 45 or something? Maybe a bit older. Like he doesn't look that old to me. Maybe he's just got like young hair. How many years old am I? I'm 52, of course. Everybody knows that. But yeah, the landscape of YouTube does change over 10 years, especially. But I think like the amount of his audience that has just aged out. Like if usually your viewers are kind of similar in your age range, I think, unless you're like a sussy Minecraft streamer. So like if you're 35 or something, typically your audience will be very similar to like 35-ish, plus or minus 5 years. But how much does your life change over 5 years or 10 years? It's completely different, honestly. So maybe that the majority of people that like Shad's content, maybe they're still subscribed and they still watch his old video because they like him, but they've got shit to do now. They've got mortgages and cars and kids to worry about. They don't want to know about how nunchucks aren't the best weapon ever or something.
Plan to try and keep it around, but it has to be in a sustainable way. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that with you later in the video with an important question to you, my viewers, and the people who love this content. But the content needs to change, or at the very least, the way it is framed, if it wants to have any measure of reach in the algorithm. I've already done.
Let's just think about this. Every time you say algorithm, let's replace it with the word audience. So he wants reach the audience.
Some experimentation, and it still might not work. But the fundamental problem that is at play here, which is affecting multiple channels, not just myself, this is kind of across the board in regards to long-form sword content specifically, content that is solely and only about sword itself, history, usage especially, barely gets any attention or promotion in the algorithm these days.
I mean, that's like niche content. And there are trends that kind of exist and a bit of a meta as well that goes around. Like currently reaction and live streaming and podcasting is very popular in the YouTube landscape, and that uses up a lot of people's time. What's actually kind of interesting is how long form content in general is being promoted recently, like really long stuff, like 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, like video essays, things like that. Those are really popular these days. So this may be a case so far of just the content that people watch has changed.
This has been blatantly stark with the videos I've made over the last 2 months and from videos that I have been watching come out on other channels. I've been noticing.
All right, so he said the last 2 months. Let's take a look at his channel over the last 2 months. Well, look over 3 months. So over the last 3 months, well, obviously we have to. This is when he put those shorts back on his channel. So he got 70 million views over the last 3 months, but he lost 10,000 subscribers. This is probably in relation to relisting all of these videos. In fact, now that I think about it, relisting hundreds of shorts basically makes any data from his channel unreliable for the foreseeable future. Because when you unlist a video, like you have a video, you put it in unlisted, you relist it, it pops up in people's search bars again. And if you relist, how many videos did he relist? It doesn't really say, but I'm pretty sure it was like 100 or something. Because I remember him saying that he unlisted like a bunch of videos. When you do that, you spam your audience and they get really annoyed. It floods the system. And if you flood like 100 videos into your subscriber feed and nobody watches any of them, or they watch one, then that means they only watch 1 or 0% of your content over the last 3 months. YouTube probably will suppress you because it doesn't know what you're doing. I do like that Shad's trying different things. I think that's good to experiment and try, but you have to do it slowly. Like this is going to basically invalidate any data that he's received. So can I go back to 28 days? All right, let's go to 28. No, it's still within the same month. But it looks like he's getting 70,000, 150,000, 100,000. Looks like he's ranging anywhere from 80,000 to 200,000 views a day, which isn't bad. That's not bad at all. Like, it looks like his last time. Well, we'll count out this video because that's the one where he's like the sword content is dead, and that's like a bit of an outlier. And we'll count these as well. On a day when that was a really bad one actually. This day we released a video, Ninja Gaiden only got 50,000. That's really bad. But the other videos look fine to me. Like if you're getting 80,000 to 150,000, 90,000, 80,000, 100,000, if you're getting that many views a day, the YouTube isn't suppressing you. Even if you used the glory days used to be 200,000 or 300,000 a day, that's not. A lot of people don't get 100,000 views in their entire channel's lifetime. Like, and if we look at Chad's overall views as well, let me see. I think we're going to go to more, right? Here we go. So over his entire channel's lifetime, he's got almost 400 million views. So I wouldn't say that YouTube's suppressing his content. Now, he may be getting a negative effect from having such radical changes in his channel over the time. It seems like one thing that I have noticed is I feel like Shad can't pick a lane. He wants to be like making serious sword content, but he wants to do anime content. He wants to make shorts, and he wants to unlist the shorts, and he wants to bring the shorts back. Like, if you just choose a lane, typically you'll be better, right? Isn't he a millionaire? I don't know about that. I know he was building a castle in his backyard or something, but I don't know if he's a millionaire. But even if you are a millionaire, you don't stay a millionaire by running a failing business. So he may have some legitimate concerns here. Now, he does have a few employees, and I guess that's good, right? But YouTube can be done for one of the cheapest. Like, you can make cheap content on YouTube, right? That's one of the advantages. But yeah, like what I was going to say with picking a lane is like, do you guys ever watch Home Improvement? You know, Tim Allen, Home Improvement when you were a kid? I watched Home Improvement a lot. And there was one scene that I remember. Because if you've never seen this show, basically it was Tim Allen was like a goofy dad / hardware guy. And he had like the big house, 3 kids, whatever. But he had a neighbor whose face you never saw called Wilson, and he was always like covered up like this. And Wilson was like the wise man. And he would Tim would go out into the backyard, complain about a problem to Wilson, and Wilson would give him some advice. And one of those pieces of advice really stuck with me. And in this episode, Wilson said that he was driving down a forest road, and he saw a deer on the road at night. And the deer got blinded in the headlights, and it ran to the left, it ran to the right, and then it stood in for a second, and then he hit the deer. Now, if the deer had gone either way, it would have been okay. But because it couldn't make up its mind, it died, and there was all this damage to Wilson's car. And I kind of feel like this is a problem that maybe Shad's having by like unlisting and relisting. Like, just choose one and keep doing it for a while and see how it works, rather than doing all these crazy things all at once. Just pick a lane and you'll be safe. But if you can't make up your mind, you might be in for a bad time. Anyway, let's continue to see what he says. We're only 10% through this.
This trend for over a year now. I literally made a video a year ago pointing out the things that I had noticed that now many people, many, and I mean many, how to do YouTube channels are saying the same type of things that I was saying a year ago in terms of this is what the algorithm seems to be prioritizing more. And the recommendation of these videos to new audiences barely are happening at all. And what this actually happens, okay?
All right, so this is from, I think this is from this video. YouTube is killing my channel. That was 9 months, not exactly a year again. So just a little bit of a thing here. Karungal with a 25 Ron says, you know he's doing an appearance once a week on Nerdrotic Live, right? I vaguely know about that, but I don't know what the point about this is. There's a thing with appearing on live screens. If you appear on a live stream once, it's good for you. If you appear like 3 or 4 times, it's good for you. If you're there every week, there's like diminishing returns on the amount of gains this will give you. And on a lot of those panel shows, I noticed that a lot of people just kind of sit around and don't do anything. Now, does Shad do that on his channels? I don't know, because I just don't really watch that much of Nerdrotic's content. I've seen a couple of his things, obviously, but it's just not stuff that I watch. But yeah, like, just showing up on a show every week doesn't guarantee you success. It will give you a small amount of, there's a small amount of crossover in viewers, but there's like diminishing returns. And if you've ever seen Legal Mindset talk about this, actually, he's mentioned it quite a bit, how he doesn't really go on panels that often anymore because of the massive amount of diminishing returns. It's actually, and the amount of time it uses up as well. So interesting, I suppose, but I'm not sure there's how this helps his problem. I mean, if he's going on the show and every time he's on the show, he's like maybe talking about what he's working on and making people enticed to watch them, it might help. But if he's just a cast member, I mean, people might enjoy him on Nerdrotic, but why are they incentivized to go see him on his own channel? But let's see what he's saying about this video from early 2024 about subscriber growth in the last 90 days.
Result that causes this type of thing, the content itself is not getting shown to new viewers. Because we're not the only channel that's facing this. I mentioned in the last video, other channels have been reporting on this. And since making that video, many have actually reached out to me, commenting, not just content creators, because yeah, Tyler Tube mentioned it, and he mentions that there's been this weird change with other channels as well. Other channels reaching out to me. Baggage Claim posted on Twitter saying, what's going on? My content hasn't changed. Views have gone off a cliff. Clownfish TV has been reporting on this, that traffic to independent websites through Google has been dying.
Now, this is true. I will say this, that YouTube does give less views to content that channels people off of YouTube. And this makes perfect sense. And this is the same on Twitter and basically every website. They do not want you, once you're in their ecosystem, they want you to stay in their ecosystem. If you go onto YouTube, watch one video, then leave, YouTube doesn't like that video because they're like, well, this person watched this video and then they left YouTube. Why should I recommend this content that's not helping both of us, right? And so if I, like, for example, on Twitter, you'll notice as people post what they're talking about on their stream or something, and then the second reply, this is what I do, will be a link to YouTube, because if people see that tweet, they like it, but it's a link to YouTube. Twitter doesn't want you leaving Twitter. They want you to stay on they want you to stay on Twitter. And YouTube doesn't want you leaving YouTube either. So this one thing that Clownfish TV was saying is true. So you do have to be careful about links in your description and things like that, or links in general, because you can link back to other YouTube videos, things like that. You do need to be careful about that. So like it can hurt you in a certain degree. Like go visit my Patreon. YouTube doesn't like that, but to a certain degree, it's worth it, provided you're getting enough viewers. So that is one thing that is true.
And so this isn't just happening to Shadiversity, even though it is detrimentally affecting us in a big way. YouTube is clearly recommending different content that I'm not interested in. Like on my home feed, and so many people have reported this, by the way, weird recommendations of videos that have barely any views that you have no interest in. And
but that's good though. Like this is good. Like recommending new channels to people is great. Now, does it need some work? Perhaps, because they're not the best, right? They're not always the best. But no, this is something that people have been asking for a long time, that there's no way for new channels to grow. Well, now there is. So part of new people growing is that those people's views may not be going to you anymore. That's part of a changing landscape.
Flooded with that of content that just I'm not interested in watching or viewing. So clearly YouTube is recommending different content to different viewers, deprioritizing recommendations on our content and others.
They are deprioritizing content from the friends, for example, if it's a social network, they're deprioritizing.
Well, this is true as well, but this is for like Facebook. Basically, like if you're on Facebook, it doesn't link you your friends' photos and videos much anymore. It's like sharing content and videos, but this isn't part of the equation because this has nothing to do with YouTube essentially. The YouTube doesn't really show you videos from your friends, right? So it's not really worth watching or listening about that point.
It from businesses, and they're also deprioritizing it from subscribers.
And when I pointed it
Now, it's not that they're deprioritizing from subscribers; they're just moving away from the subscriber model. You still need to just get returning viewers. That's the important metric, and you can see this in your YouTube analytics.
Out a year ago, there were critics and haters mocking me for it, accusing me that my content was now completely trash, even though the type of content and quality had not changed. If anything, the quality increased.
Now, this is something that Shad talks about quite a bit, that the quality has not gone down. In fact, it's gone up. This is an opinion thing. And how do you rank the quality of a Shadiversity video? Is it having two guys on camera? Is it having fancy edits, fancy cuts? Sometimes those things can disincentivize people from watching because you lose that sort of the you in YouTube, the kind of like personal quality when things become too, what's the word? Commercialized or like too industrial. When it stop being like a friend, a lot of people kind of tune out at that point because a lot of people do seek these sort of parasocial relationships, as people have been calling them, out on YouTube. And you don't really want to watch something that's too corporate. Corporate was the word I was looking for. And no, not two guys on camera. Come on now. I do like this jacket, though. This is a nice jacket. Kind of looks like a Star-Lord jacket or something. Right.
And claiming I had alienated all of my audience. Now, of course, those people were liars and idiots because you didn't have to.
I don't like this part, so I'm going to go back and we'll just listen to it. So it's like he's got lots of critics, but all the critics are liars and idiots. Well, let's say.
The type of content and quality had not changed. If anything, the quality increased, and claiming I had alienated all of my audience. Now, of course, those people were liars and idiots because you didn't have to pay too much attention to realize a couple of things. If those are the reasons why the views are falling off a cliff on my channel, sword content on other channels should be doing just fine, if not better than me. And the most direct point of comparison is Scalagrim, who literally made a video recently talking about some of this stuff and the difficulties he's facing on his channel.
The kind of video and topic.
Right, so what's this guy's channel's name? Scalagrim? Oh, actually, what I can probably do is if I go to similar channels, it's probably going to show up, right? This guy, Scalagrim. All right, let's see how this guy's doing. Let's see. So it looks like he did dip down from the beginning of January, but like I said, January always dips down for people. What's he been doing for like the first 3 months? Well, I mean, this is just not true. Looks like Scalagrim is doing 100% better than he was doing over the last 3 months. Like 3.2 million views, a 98% increase over the last 90 days. Now, like I said, January views do go down, but it looks like he's posting content that's getting a lot of views. Like he's getting more views than Shad. Typically, it looks like 160, 90. They're very similar. Don't get me wrong. But like what's it like over last year? Last year looks fine. Like it says that he's down 50% though in the last. So it's like it's not perfect, I suppose, but he's not doing bad by any stretch of imagination. What is this guy? Mini Katana? I've never heard about this guy. This guy's up over the last month, and he's up 5% over. But again, he's down in January. Like the January dip is a real thing. Because people are just busier in January. That's why it happens. Like YouTube spends a lot of advertising revenue in December. So a lot of YouTubers try and pump out as much content as they can in December. And people have more free time in December as well, because it's like Christmas holidays, things like that. And typically it's more relaxed. There was a bit of an end of the year crunch and everything. But beginning of the year, people are too busy to watch YouTube essentially. So January is almost always the worst month for everybody, with the exception of travel content apparently. But like, so the first point here that he says that this guy's doing worse, this guy apparently is not actually doing worse. At least over the last 3
that
months.
used to get at least 100,000 views, of more, now tends to be stuck at 20, 30, 40.
All right, so let's see. This one is like 7 years ago, 200,000. 2 months ago, 30,000. 6 years ago, 130,000. 6 days ago, 20,000. So it seems like he was just more popular, and then like he kind of dipped down in popularity. That's pretty natural for a lot of people. You don't stay on top forever, especially if your content doesn't evolve. But these aren't bad views. And like I said, when I look at the actual analytics for this guy, Skalgrim, I wonder if he made this video. I wonder if he made his video complaining in January. When did he complain about it? Let's see. Let's see. It's unique. First Q&A stream. I can't see it actually. Could I defeat Shad in a sword fight? Well, I would use a superior Japanese katana that he hates, even though he says that they're terrible. Mine one was folded over 6,000 times, so I would slice through his broadsword, his spring steel broadsword, like butter. Okay. No, he's actually correct about that, katanas are kind of crap. They're fun, though. Katanas are really fun and cool. That's the thing about them. But Japanese steel is a little bit... it's a bit of thing of legends, right? I can't see this video that this Skalgrim guy is talking about. Maybe I have to go to his channel. He's a Canadian? Maybe that's why he's doing better, you could say. At least someone in Canada is doing well, I suppose. Skalgrim. Let's see if we can find out. Okay, so he posted the video. I could use your help. So he posted the video about his channel doing poorly in January, when January is always a bad month. So that could just be attributed to the dip. And then Shad seeing that, and it's again confirmation bias, because like I said, over the last 3 months, Skalgrim's up 90%, almost 100%, which is phenomenal. I assume this is mostly from YouTube Shorts views or something, though, but I don't know. Shorts are a bit of a interesting thing on YouTube because they provide a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, but they provide basically no money. But people go after them because of the ego boost, and you got to be careful how you use them. Got to be careful.
Something like that.
He hasn't had any council mobs come after him or been involved in any controversies about AI art or ideological positions that he's taken, like I have, where I've taken strong stances based on my Christian and conservative values.
Okay, I know that Shad has talked about AI art on his channel. A lot of people don't like AI art, but I don't think I've ever seen any Christian content on Shad's channel. If he's talking about this content, then I think it's off on other people's streams and things. So there is no way that they're just targeting him because he's like a Christian guy or something. That's not a thing, except in extreme rare cases, right? The only one example I can actually think about someone being specifically targeted is DSP. So DSP, some guy actually got a job working in the internet company, so he could start DDoSing Phil when he started streaming. That's like the one example, okay, where someone's actually going out of their way to make like a one guy thing. So poor DSP suffer DSP. But no, I don't think that YouTube just categorizes you as Christian from off-stream content, unless he's talked about Christianity on his main channel, which I really don't think that he has. And furthermore, he has a secondary channel, which I believe is called Night's Watch. And they do like reactionary content, just talking about popular culture. And I think that does very well. So if one channel is doing better than the other channel, maybe that's proof or a piece of it, not proof, but a piece of evidence that it's not the channel that's being punished. It's the content that is just not interesting the audience. Again, we're going to replace the word algorithm with audience. Maybe the audience is just not interested in this content as much as you would want them to be. And that can be sad. That can be a hard thing to rationalize. But it is niche content. And there's a reason that niche content is niche content and it's not mainstream content. And you have to kind of accept that sometimes. Like there's a lot of things that I have interest in that nobody cares about. And when I stream about things that nobody cares about, people don't watch it because they're not interested in it. And it's okay.
I have a whole separate channel doing that, and as a result,
there
there's a lot of people who come after me for being outspoken.
Well, he has a separate channel.
Liking Trump. There's a horde of haters constantly lying and making hit pieces.
Okay, so liking Trump in the current age is actually not a bad thing, especially on YouTube. Now, if you mentioned Trump previously, you could be suppressed or you could be like demonetized. But there's a lot of people that make content about Trump that are exploding. Like making political content right now is actually really good. There's one guy that I know about who used to do content for gaming, but now he's like pivoted to talking about election stuff, and he's absolutely exploding. And let's see. Yeah, so this guy just did a video about what is it, Adam Schiff, and it's called, the video is called Trump's Revenge Against Adam Schiff, and it was posted 1 day ago and it's got 900,000 views. So if people are coming after you for Trump, being a Trump supporter, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Maybe you have to lean into it. Maybe that's the problem. That the haters are coming for you, but you're not appealing to the people that like that content.
Videos about me, yet Scarlegrim, who is a relatively uncontroversial YouTube creator, has been facing the exact same decline in views and struggle in making sword content as I have found here on Shadiversity.
That's not true. Scarlegrim's doing just fine, apparently.
Not just him, many of the old school sword kind of YouTubers have been facing the same thing. Metatron is an interesting example because he has kind of shifted the focus of his channel with a lot of good reaction content. I love the content, but nearly all of his more old school style videos that he makes on occasion, talking about weapons or just a focused historical subject, get the exact same type of views as myself and Scarlegrim are currently getting. And
wait a minute, isn't that a bit of a self-report there? So there's a guy, Metatron. I haven't actually seen any of Metatron's content, but I know he did a Ricada video because he talked to him once. But so Metatron used to make content like you did, but he's pivoted to content like that's more popular, reaction content, and he's getting views on the reaction content, but not his old content. So you're just saying that the audience is more interested in the reaction content. It's kind of answering your own question there. The audience is more interested in the new style. And again, that might suck. You might be sad about that. Certainly, I'm a bit depressed that there's sort of content doesn't exist on YouTube as well anymore. But that's the way it is.
You could look at many of the legacy sword YouTubers as well as the channels that never really got off the ground and are even starting out now. Their long-form videos are facing the exact same thing. All of us have the occasional video.
Now, I will point out one thing, that various weapons content can be controversial in YouTube's eyes, but that's typically guns. I don't think swords get the same treatment as guns, and I've seen no evidence to suggest that's the case. But people that do the shooty content, they do get penalized and in the YouTube system.
Yeah, myself included, that does do well in the current environment. I have a number of videos since making, the video talking about the issues that are at play here, well over 500,000 views, or if not more. These are outliers, the exceptions to this new standard.
Okay, so he's got some videos that are popping over 500,000 views, which is phenomenal. That's great. That's like, depending on the content length, that could be upwards of, let me think, 500,000 viewers. What is Shad's typical video length? 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 70 minutes, 60. Oh, we'll say it's like the typical 15 to 30 minute length. 500,000 views? That can be as much as like $7,000 to $15,000. That's a big payday on one video. But like, you have to think about the Pareto principle, where 20% of your work yields 80% of your profit. The majority of our videos, like if we go through we'll go through 10 videos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there you go. Look at that. So yeah, like 1 in 10 videos. I guess it's usually 1 in 5 though, if it's 20/80 rule. But yeah, more or less, it seems like that is typically holding up. Again, if you go like down a few, like 10 more videos, well, not even 10. Let's see. Well, maybe it is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 300,000 views. It seems like he's pretty much in line with what the actual averages is, because again, unless you're like really personality focused or like character focused, like people are tuning in every time because you're the content rather than anything else, these seem like perfectly fine numbers. Like, it's nothing to scoff at. And he posts a lot of videos too, because that's one thing. If you post like 1 video a month and you get 1 million views, and it's like, or 10 videos a month and you get 100,000 each, same difference, right? But Shad posts a lot of content. Like, he's a bit spammy in that respect. Like if you look at like this is crazy. Like on my other channel, my other channel, I went like 3 months without posting any content. Whoopsie daisy. But he's like posting a video like every single day. This is crazy. Like how many videos is this? Let me see. Can I actually? This is like, so he missed. How many days did he miss? It'd be easy to count. He missed one. Or let's just do for the 28 days. Yeah, 28 days is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So out of the last 28 days, he missed 5 videos. So he's basically posting a video every single day. And every day he's getting 60,000, 50,000, 100,000. That's a lot of content. I think he might actually benefit from uploading less content, because then you kind of make people want to see it. You know, there is a thing where you want people coming back and forming habits. But I think that 3 videos a week is probably the maximum you want to do, unless you're doing like daily news sort of stuff. And there are some people that upload like 5 videos a day, like the quartering or something, but that's a different thing entirely, because he's capturing news trends. I don't think that's what Shad's doing. He should probably make slightly longer, higher produced content and upload less frequently, and I think it'd do better. Pull up your Amazon cart real quick for science. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
But it really does show that there is still a large audience of people that like to watch this content, are willing to consume this content if it was just recommended to them. Because when I look at those videos that have done really, really well.
All right. So he's saying that these are the videos that did really, really well. 1 view for every 13 impressions, 1 view for every 15 impressions, 1 view for every 13 impressions. Okay. These are, okay, I see. But videos that have lower views will typically have higher views per impression anyway, because less people have been shown them.
The conversion from impressions to views are the same, if not actually a bit lower than much of my other content. What that means is, if most of my other content was just given the same amount of recommendations in the algorithm as my successful videos, they would get the same, if not more views than my most successful recent videos.
I mean, this is like a chicken and egg thing, because yes, if you show a video to more people will watch it, of course. But when I saw his actual analytics, and he doesn't show all his analytics, but for example, this video, I think this is right here, right? That's his best video, I think. His best video, not that one. All right, maybe it's this one. Let's see. See if we can actually find this. He goes into more detail in this one. Where is it? There was like one video where it shows the actual click. What I'm looking for is a click-through rate of his actual videos, or impression rate. Unfortunately, it doesn't show. Maybe it shows it in this one. No, not this one. Oops. No, it's this one. I'm close to giving up. Sorry. I'm getting real confused now. Oh, here it is. Thanks. Here we go. So this video, it had 600,000 impressions and a 4.4% click-through rate. That's not a great click-through rate. That implies the thumbnail is bad or the title is bad. And you can just see here, it was shown to almost 650,000 people, but of those people, only 15,000 people decided to watch it. This, like, 4% sounds good. And when you start doing YouTube, people tell you that like 2% is good. Like, oh, that if 100 people came to your shop and 2 people looked at it, that's great. No, it isn't. Like, you need, like, to get a video to really pop off, it needs to have at least 8% or higher click-through rate. My videos are done really, really well, have like a 20% click-through rate, which is insane. Most videos will not be like that. But this click-through rate is too low. It needs to be 5, 6, or 7 at least. But look, it's like saying if it just was shown to more people. It was shown to more than 500,000 people. How much more people do you want to be seen? I feel like this is the problem. Like, maybe he does have some arguments. I'm not seeing them just now. But I'm having it a very difficult time, I should say, sympathizing with him, because the way he's presenting this content is making me sound like I was rich and I want to keep being rich. Keep giving me more stuff, YouTube. You know what I mean? Does anyone else get that vibe? And I guess it's like a vibe is not a scientific thing. I know that. But it's like, it feels like entitlement. And I think that a lot of Shad's critics are probably feeling the same. And like I said, it's like not a good look, especially with the wine. It's kind of whiny as well. Am I on my period? Yes.
If people were disinterested in sword content across the board, from Scarlegrim, Lindy Beige, Metatron, myself, and many others, our views should be terrible no matter the amount of recommendations they give. But the consistent analytical proof that I see time and time again, I get the same amount of views versus impressions I get consistently between my successful videos and my videos that don't do well. It's not based on the likelihood of an audience to watch. The YouTube algorithm is choosing to recommend my content, give impressions to it. It seems to be if it's related to a more trending, popular thing that more people are watching broadly. So the
Wait, hang on a second. Did you just say that people are watching things that are more popular?
Trending impressions to it. It seems to be if it's related to a more trending, popular thing that more people are watching broadly. So
so if he makes a video that's about things that more people are watching, more people watch it. Yes. Yes, that's called chasing trends or following the meta or whatever you want. Like, yes, when you make a video about Demon Slayer, when Demon Slayer is popping off, more people watch it. Here's the secret. Like, this is a secret to YouTube. You double down on what works. That's the only secret to YouTube. Double down on what works, and just make content. Stop pretending you're going to make content next week. Make a video today, and if it works, double down on it. That's how it works.
Critics and liars who have been mocking and attacking me for over a year, they'll never admit they were wrong or apologize. They are bad actors that hate me for...
That's a bit of projection there, I think. But bad actors, okay. I don't think I'm a bad actor, but I don't think I've ever attacked Shad, and I don't hate Shad or anything. But I have watched his content and been critical of it, because I feel like a lot of his conclusions are not rooted in reality. And like I said, I think his content's actually fairly good when I watch it. It's just that I don't really feel like watching it that much.
Ideological reasons. The proof is very clear. And as I mentioned, it's not just affecting me. There is another thing just to address on this point. Videos like this usually always seem to trend more in the algorithm because people are much more inclined to watch it, or more people are watching this type of content broadly.
Yeah, like more people are watching specifically reactionary content and live streams, as well as like the sort of more poppy Mr. Beast style video where it's like really like schizo transitions and really high energy, high color, high engagement, that sort of stuff. That's really like popular on YouTube because a lot of the YouTube audience is younger, and younger people are more interested in attention grabbing stuff.
On YouTube, that seems to be how YouTube determines if it'll recommend a video, not if you are subscribed and you've told the algorithm that this is the type of content you want recommended. It is recommended.
Well, here's the thing: is again, replace algorithm with audience, but it doesn't matter what you tell YouTube you like. They recommend you what they think you'll watch, and sometimes that's going to be like a cat video or just like, I don't know, baking videos. It's like, I'm tired of watching baking videos. I'm not going to watch baking video. I'm wasting all my day watching baking videos. I'm not like, I'll unsubscribe from all the baking channels. YouTube's like, yeah, but when you watch a baking video, you watch it for an hour at a time and you watch 2 more baking videos and your session time is like 3 hours. So we're going to recommend you this video. And you kind of just find the content that you will watch, even if it's not good for you. And that, like, a lot of people get into those, like the short scrolling, like the doom scrolling or whatever, where you just like you're stuck in bed for an hour because you can't get out of, you just keep using your phone and you're like, this content's terrible, I don't like it, but you keep watching it. That's why you keep getting recommended to it. It is what it is.
Content that most other people are already watching.
Sometimes you don't know what you want.
Leaves the niche communities completely stuffed. Seriously, there are.
All right, so he's admitted that he's a niche community. Now, everyone in chat, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you say niche? How would you describe a niche community? And I'll give the chat a couple seconds, and we'll see if they come up with a consensus. But what do you think when I say the word niche? Like if I describe a niche community and you had to use an adjective to describe it, what would you say? There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. The chat's got it. The chat's got it. Small, specific, devoted. Niche audiences are small. They're very passionate, but they're small. And that's what we're seeing here. Like Shad has a very consistent 30,000 people on minimum that seem to show up for him. Now he gets more on some other ones, but these people, if this is niche content, for example, is there a way to defeat a gun with a sword? That's actually kind of cool. I might watch that video. Next to this video, Metatron called me a psychopath. I can't believe he did this. That sounds like clickbait or drama farming or something. I don't know what this is about. That's kind of funny. It's next to it. Only $200 in a crazy sharp. One of the best swords we've reviewed. Like reviewing sword. This is niche content. This isn't going to have a large audience. And like 30,000 views is still pretty good.
A whole host of niche YouTube communities that are just being killed off by the current recommendations or algorithm changes.
But what we've been noticing of late, what he's been noticing on his
I don't
channel,
know who this guy
what
is.
I have also been noticing on some large guitar channels, Music is Win is a good example. I'm just pointing him out just because I noticed it, but there's so many others.
So, does anyone know who this guy is? I have no idea who this guy is, and I want to look him up.
Where you have channels with millions and millions of subscribers, and it's not that they're not active, it's not that they have completely faded into irrelevance or something, but the typical video is probably getting, if say Music is Win has maybe, I don't know, 1.8 million subscribers, a lot of his videos now are getting like 50K, 40.
All right, Music is Win. Oh, no, he's looking at someone else's video. But again, these are good views. Like, what are you talking about? Music is Win. All right, let me have a look at this guy. Music is Win. This is not the Indian guy. Music is Win. All right, got it. Let's see.
If you want this guitar, you have to play anything.
All right, let's see. All right, so this Music is Win. Let's have a look at their channel stats for the last. Music is Win is doing very good. They're doing very good. So Music is Win. In the last month, they have uploaded they've uploaded 13 videos. They've gained 10,000 subscribers, and they've gained almost 5.5 million views. Music is Win is doing just fine. Oh, look at that. They've got a January dip. Imagine that. Imagine that. But even I think for the last 30 days, like Music is Win is up 40% over the last 30 days. Over the last 7 days, they're down 9%, but they're still doing just fine. They've got almost 1.5 million views. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. Music is Win. I don't think this is a good example you want to use for a dying niche community. That's actually really good. Let's continue with the video.
Which is like, it's really tiny in the context of how big his channel is.
That's because they're looking at the dead subscribers. Like I probably shouldn't have removed that. Let me just see what is their oldest video. It's going to be like a channel that's got like 7 years old videos, right? 9-year-old videos. Yeah, this is an ancient channel in YouTube terms. Like that's all these subscribers you gain over the years, they stick around, but they don't watch your content. So a lot of them are just like dormant, dead, or hibernating subscribers. They might come back and watch a video from time to time, but it's not a good metric. That's why YouTube is moving away from it. The only thing that subscriber counts are really good for, well, of course, you need 1,000 to get monetized. I think at 10,000, something else used to unlock like stories or community posts or something like that. So it used to be worth getting 10,000. But the only metric that's really important is 1,000. Now, if you have 100,000, that's of course you get the little tick next to your name, which is pretty cool. It's a vanity metric though, and you get like the silver play button. But the silver play button is not as valuable as it used to be anymore because so many channels are just like uploading like 100,000 shorts or something and getting 1 view per video or something. And YouTube is actually going to reduce the size of the silver play button for every YouTuber now because the short people are getting too many subscribers, but they don't generate that much money. So it just is what it is. Is what it is. All right, let's continue.
D&D type channels as a channel old school, and people often said that we looked alike. How to be a better DM. He's just basically had to give up that channel entirely. He was told by people from YouTube that they will not recommend his content anymore.
Some of you have known.
Wait, what? All right, wait a second. I'm pressing X to down on this one. He went to YouTube and they said, we're not going to subscribe. We're not going to recommend your channel. That doesn't sound like something a YouTube would say. Like, even if YouTube was doing that, there is no way the YouTube manager looks you in the eye and says, yeah, we're not going to recommend your channel anymore. Like, what is it, like a personal thing? That doesn't make sense. This story did not happen. I'm sorry. I don't believe this. Is D&D content getting less popular though? I don't know. Like, I see like a lot of D&D channels. They seem very popular and the fan base seems very committed. It may be that the fact that there was like very few D&D channels in the past, and as it's gotten more popular, the audience is spread out. That may be the case, but without knowing this guy in particular, If anyone knows this guy's name, I'd be happy to look him up. But I want to see this story because there's no way this happens. I'm sorry, I just don't believe this. I do not believe this whatsoever.
Noticed, rightly so, that the viewership numbers on the channel has been decreasing, and that's a combination of factors. We've been looking into it, watching it very, very closely. I want to say it's because YouTube is actively culling the channel. I literally went to their offices here in London and had a conversation with them where they went, your numbers are not great. What's your next YouTube channel going to be? Because Great GM is going to be gently pushed to the side.
Okay, it's Great GM. Is that what I'm looking for? This story does, like, maybe he went to YouTube, the YouTube headquarters in London, and he asked it, like, about a review or something. But, like, they may have said his channel numbers aren't great, but there's no way they said that, like, we're going to start recommending you. I feel like this is a very, very editorialized story. All right, let me look this. Lord DM, is it? Lord DM. Let's have a look. Lord DM. I can't even find it. That might be good. Maybe he was right. Maybe his channel did get yeeted. Lord, is it Lord? No, there's a channel with 15 subscribers called Lord DM, but I think it's a child, so I'm not going to click on that channel. Is it Lord DM or Lord DM? I thought it'd be like D&D. All right, D&D. Let's see if I can find it. D&D Shorts. I can't find this guy's channel. Oh, How to Be a Great GM. Sorry, it's got to be How to Be a Great GM. Maybe he changed the channel name. So
hey, welcome to How to Be a Great GM. My name is Guy.
Yeah, this is the guy, right? How to Be a Great GM. Is it the guy? Yeah, this is the guy. All right, so he's got 200,000 subscribers, 1,000 videos or videos. And over the last month, he's got 200,000 subscribers and he's up 160%. Wait a minute. That's not what you said. Although he does a lot of like low view videos, I will say. Wrong tab. Really? Oh, I was looking at my other. You guys wanted to see it as well? There you go. There you go. Now I have to reorganize my tabs. Yeah, he's got a lot of videos with like only a couple hundred views, but he's got like 1,000 videos. Whenever I see someone with like 1,000 videos, it's always like gaming content or something. But is he doing shorts or something? Is that why he's gaining traction? No, he's not. Not really. He's got a couple of shorts, but the highest is only 28,000 views. But on this guy's channel is up 160% over the last. Wait, that's 30 days. What is it like over the last? He's up 25% over the last 3 months. Or the last 6 months. His average for the last. He's doing fine. He's just a small channel. It's a niche content. So this story is just simply not accurate, brother. Hey, Gov, you did not go to the YouTube headquarters in London and they tell you your channel's dead, mate. It looks like it's doing fine. I mean, it's just niche content, and maybe you're not putting out the content that gives the big monetization numbers.
And there's nothing you can do about it either. So YouTube, in all of their financial money-grabbing business approach, and I can't blame them for it, said to me, right, your channel is going to be shunted off into oblivion, which was where so many channels disappear too that we don't remember them. They just forget and fade into.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Hannah Minx? Anyone remember that channel with the JWOs? That's the channel that I want to see make a comeback. That was shunted off into oblivion before its time. Hannah Minx. No, actually, I think she got married and stopped. Her husband asked her to stop making YouTube videos or something.
The past. So your channel's being shunted off. It will still remain on YouTube, and it will still be accessible and still be able to be found. But it will no longer be presented to new folks. That's basically the bottom line.
Not because it's.
I mean, I kind of like that guy. You guys, I'll still be uploading content to my YouTube channel, but it'll not be found by the plebeians that YouTube is not recommending anymore. I kind of like that guy. I like his accent. But it looks like he's doing fine. It looks like he's up 20% over the last month or something.
Subscribers didn't want.
He is DMing his own story and embellishing heavenly. Yes, it sounds like it. It sounds like it very much.
To see it, but because the algorithm has chosen it doesn't want to push it. And what is it choosing to?
So, like, again, just replace algorithm with audience. But here's the thing. It's not about the algorithm. How do I describe this? YouTube doesn't serve YouTubers. This is true. YouTube serves the viewer because they're the people that bring in the ad revenue money. And the algorithm doesn't push content. It pulls content towards the viewer. So if the viewers aren't watching your content, it's likely because you've either said something so egregious that you've been demonetized or suppressed, which Shad definitely is not doing in his regular sword content. Maybe he's doing it on another channel, but I do not see that here. It seems to me so far, it's just the audience that likes it is watching it, but that audience is very small. And over time, people have left the audience. And as the content has been changing, less people are coming in, which is showing him a negative return on subscribers, because he does have like he's got the negative subscriber growth at the moment, which is it's a terrible place to be. But again, it just seems like the audience is not interested in watching the content. And he gets a lot of comments where people will say like, people will say, "Oh, I would love to watch your content, Shad, but it's not being recommended to me." If you really want to watch his content, you'll watch his content. Like you'll wake up in the morning and say, "Oh man, I better check Shad to see if there's a good content today." The fact that the audience isn't doing it, it's like it just means they don't want to watch it. It's just they're being polite. They're just not interested in it. Like I find the content that I want to watch because I search for it. But the people get up in the morning, they see something recommended to them, like, "Oh, it's Trump is yelling at Canadians again," and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll watch this." And then guess what? Their hour's up. They've got to go to work, and there's no time for the Shad content. It's just not competitive. That's the real reality here that I'm seeing so far. Now, unless he presents some other evidence in this, it may be the case. Well, let's see. Indigo Gaming says it's not just sword content either. I've noticed many channels that I've followed for years are getting buried for years who never stop making content. It's probably because you stop watching them. I've had a sneaking suspicion that YouTube is diversifying their recommendations to small channels, not out of charity, but because they don't have any revenue share so they don't have to share revenue to non-partnered channels. This is I'm sorry, Indigo Gaming, but this is a really stupid comment. Let's have a look at Indigo Gaming. And I'll tell you why this is a stupid comment. So the idea is that they don't want to pay the largest creators because they don't have as much money. So they're getting money off YouTube channels that are non-monetized. YouTube channels that are non-monetized, the amount of money, so to get monetized on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. The amount of money you make from about 4,000 watch hours is about $100 or $200. So the idea is that they're trying to push people into these $100 or $200 zones rather than channels that can make $15,000, $20,000 with a massive video. There's just no way. And then you're like, well, it's the economy of scale. No, that's just not true. There's no way. They're pushing. They are now not pushing, but they're showing content to people from smaller channels because they want smaller YouTubers to grow, and that is true. But this is just like completely fan fiction. Wonder if Shed responded to this. Capitalism sure is great, Emma, right? Yeah, let's just blame the capitalist. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, typically the reality is that the small YouTubers cost YouTube money because YouTube hosts your content for free. And the majority of content that's uploaded to YouTube does not make any money. There is billions of watch hours of content that nobody's ever seen on YouTube. Like you can just find these videos with like a 2 hours long, one view. I know this because I've got channels that are like that. They didn't succeed and I tried to make them work. They didn't work. That YouTube's content is still there. Years later, free storage. I actually use YouTube as a semi-free file sharing service. Sometimes I'll just upload unlisted content and share it to my friends. They don't get paid shit for that. There's no way small channels that haven't even made enough money to make $100 from not being monetized are making the bulk of ad revenue. That's just pure copium there. Thrall. Oh, sorry, not Thrall. I was Freudian slip there. Thal with $10 says, my channel is 2 years old. I stopped using the intro videos and just jump into the video. Retention went up by 25%. I'm 46, youngin'. Love the content, bro. So there you go. Yeah, the first 10 seconds is critical. And a lot of old YouTubers particularly, not old people that are YouTubers, but people that have been on YouTube for a long time, they get attached to their intros. They completely kill their intros by using those old 15, 10, 20-second things. So great to see that your content's going great, doing well, man. That's good to hear. Good to hear indeed.
Push what everyone else seems to be want to watch, not the need.
Wait. Did he just say that YouTube's pushing content that people want to watch? I'm going to rewind the tape there.
Want to see it, but because the algorithm has chosen it doesn't want to push it. And what is it choosing to push? What everyone else seems to be want to watch.
Oh, no, Shad. No. No, you just said the quiet part out loud. People are watching things they want to watch. Shit. Oh, no. That's not great. That's not great. Oh, dear. No. Yeah, popular content is recommended, and YouTube tries to make as much money as possible by sharing popular content. Yes, so make things people are interested in. If you're making niche content, that's fine, but that's what it is. It's niche content. This is a big self-report.
Not the niche stuff that people have said that they're interested in by what they're subscribing to. And yes, the video from How to Be a Better DM when he announced it, his best performing video in a long while, because these are the types of videos that YouTube will push, because a lot of people do tend to watch this type of stuff when they come out. And as a result, a lot of people who used to watch my content kind of come back for that individual video. And then they think that by saying, these are the reasons why I'm not watching the content anymore, they think that's actually going to be helpful or informative in some way, thinking that they're subjective.
Right, so people are coming back to the channel and saying, like, look, I like your content, so I came back to watch it, but I don't watch it anymore because I'm watching other content. Maybe you should be listening to these people.
The reasons for leaving the channel represents the majority of people, and assuming those reasons are the cause for the channel's low views, which is actually very misinformed. I've been doing this for 10 years. The channel is a bit under 1.7 million subscribers, and so over the life of the channel, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people who have come to the channel, watched for a time, and left. That's the natural course of life for any YouTube channel. When you are this size, you naturally lose several hundred people a day. And usually it recycles. The unsubscribe rate has been consistent for several years on the channel, but because the content isn't being pushed to new viewers nearly as much, the newer subscriber rate has fallen dramatically. My intention is not to make...
I mean, what he's admitting right now that his content isn't evolving, and now he's failing to capture enough audience to replace the ones that are leaving. Yeah, that's not a great strategy. You have to evolve. Like, everything in life has to change to adapt. That's the way it works. You adapt or die. That's just nature.
Content for the people who used to like this type of content, because they're literally saying they don't like this type of content anymore, so they're not going to come back anyway. It's to make the content that my current viewers and supporters want to see.
Yes,
so when videos like this
that.
bring back a number of people who have not watched the content for a while and they feel the need to express themselves why they don't watch the content anymore, it creates a false narrative in the comment section where if 10,000 former viewers come back because this video was pushed them and they're interested to just see what's going on, and then 1% of that voices the reasons why in the comments below, that will flood the comments with a whole host of a vocal minority of people saying they don't like the content anymore, ignoring the fact that there are videos with hundreds of thousands of views proving that there is still...
So don't trust your lying eyes. People are telling you why they're not watching, and you're ignoring them because they can't be the real true audience, because they're just coming back to look at your video complaining about not getting views. Okay. Kind of curious what other people are saying. I felt YouTube I felt something was odd when YouTube recommended me various videos with 100 or 10 to 300 views from channels I have never seen, because rather than my standard stuff. I don't want this channel to perish. You're one of my favorite go-tos medieval sword content. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice guy. I don't like his comment. It sounds like he's just discounting people that are giving like very reasonable reasons why they're not watching anymore. Thal with the 20s. Oh, thank you very much for another one. It says, I'm a 40k lore channel. You know what? Is your channel name the same as this one? Because I actually don't play Warhammer, but I love watching Warhammer lore channel videos. Those are like my gym workout videos. I uploaded a video 2 years ago and it still gets 4K views a week. That's pretty good. Yeah, evergreen content is amazing on YouTube. Like I said for my other channel, I didn't upload for 3 months and I very consistently gained about 100 views to 300 views per hour because it's evergreen search content. I focused on search content for that because I wanted to have a channel where I didn't have to feel stressed to chase trends and things like that. It has over 1 million views. Amazing. Great stuff. Just for contrast, what Shad is saying, he needs to change his content. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers do that. They kind of focus on videos that are like topical and popular for one day. And that's fine if you're uploading every day, but what if you get sick? What if you have to take a holiday? Like a lot of YouTubers feel like they can't take time off because what if I go away for a week and the audience disappears? That would drive you nuts. So again, it's important to diversify your content, and I feel like you need to have you need to have a stable mix of like trending content, search content, and evergreen content. And how many of Shad's videos are evergreen? Like probably like, yeah, how to unsheath a sword or something. People are going to search for that if they're learning sword content. But not that many people practice swords these days. It's a very niche. It's elegant weapons from a more civilized era, I suppose, as you might say. But I mean, it's rough. People, like, if you have a video that only people watch for 48 hours and they don't watch it again, that's like the same as doing a 9 to 5. Like you go to work, you work, and when you're not at work, you don't earn money. You need to find a way to make money while you're sleeping. That's the secret.
A massive audience of people that still love to watch his content, far more so than the minority of people.
Well, if he's got a massive audience that's still watching the content, he's got no problem. Just make more of that content. And again, this is why I think that Shad is kind of forgetting who he or what he actually is, or not realizing it. Because like I said, when you go to a person's channel, oh wait, where did my thing go? It disappeared for a second. Shit, my plugin disappeared. That's annoying. Let me see if I can get it back. Okay. Sorry, not that one. I want to go to view channel sets. So this is a plugin that I have for YouTube. But you see how it says category is education? That means he's tagging his last 10 videos, or like the average of his last 10 videos is listed as education. And this may be a minor thing, but I think he needs to change this. I think he needs to change this. It's not, because this isn't educational content as much as you think it might be. This is entertainment content. This is entertainment content. And while it may not be a defining change in his channel, I think that it would resonate better in the search if he did that, because I don't watch these videos. Like, I don't watch Naruto's Sword to learn and educate myself. I watch it because I want to be entertained. So mislabeling your content could be a contributing factor. It's probably not enough to make a difference. But that's just one thing that I noticed that seems a little bit odd. And it may go to show that Shad doesn't actually know what the content he's producing is. Like I said, he thinks he's a sword YouTuber. I think he's a pop culture channel, essentially. Like, he's making Marvel content, he's making Rings of Power content, he's making anime content. That's pop culture. That's not education. But yeah, and if we look at these examples of these videos, I guess these are all the videos that did well. So let's take a look.
Ignoring the fact that there are videos with hundreds of thousands of views, proving that they're...
All right, so let's see. This video, this is a good idea. We did it. We made a huge carbon fiber sword. That sounds pretty cool. 700,000 views. That's a cool idea. Good idea. Do stuff like that.
There's still a massive audience of...
Let's see. It cuts like a laser. The most expensive katana I've ever reviewed. That's, again, that sounds pretty interesting. But this isn't that many views. It's just under 300,000.
People that still love to watch...
Inexcusable incompetence in Forge and Fire. Well, Forge and Fire, this is reaction content. Because Forge and Fire is it's like a blacksmithing show, right?
It's content. Far more so...
this is a weapon. This is a video from Rings of Power. This is Sauron's crown. This is very dumb, by the way.
Than the minority of people.
Rings of Power Season 2, Battle Autopsy. That's, yeah, it's interesting. It's sword related. It's sword adjacent, but this is entertainment content, not education content.
People still in the hundreds of thousands.
Sword fails. The worst sword internet fails. Darwin Awards. That's entertainment. It's not education. That actually does seem pretty entertaining, though.
That have left the channel.
Good thumbnail too. Oh wait, go on. Go back.
Far more so than the minority of people still in the hundreds
of
thousands that have...
One Piece. Insanely popular anime. It actually works, but how? Testing real One Piece Kiribachi sword.
Left the channel over its...
sword fails. Again, it's like a fail compilation. That's like evergreen stuff, actually, fail content. People always go for fail shit.
Entire 10 years.
More fantasy swords. They've got the Buster Blade and then a series of other fantasy swords. More pop culture swords rated.
Of life. Just because
Skyrim, the video game content.
They left and don't enjoy the content.
Why? Lord of the Rings swords. Again,
anymore.
Pop culture.
That doesn't mean
fantasy swords, pop culture.
Impact
pop
the
culture.
Large group of people.
I don't know what the fuck that thing was. What was that? What is this thing? Chinese 9-ring Dao sword. That does sound pretty cool, though. This thing is insane. It's not a sword. What is, like a halberd or something, I guess? A polearm or something?
Well, that still do. Now, having said that, I have experimented with making some more old school style Shadiversity videos, especially in the last 2 months. So you can just have a look at the recent videos and you'll notice fantasy rearmed and some dedicated historical focused videos. Why medieval knights didn't wear armor on their lower legs. Detailed video about sword terminology. Another detailed one comparing cross guards versus tsubas with practical demonstrations.
So there was this comment I pinned from the beginning of the stream Bfront says, I think the audiences are split on what they want. Yeah, I think he's serving two audiences here that he doesn't realize. He's got his niche sword people, and then he's got the pop culture tourists. And the pop culture tourists are more profitable and more viewer friendly. But I don't think he wants to serve them. Like, he's unhappy. He wants pure sword only chads that only want to see the finest steel. And that's a tricky situation when you've got an audience that you maybe do not want to cater to.
Done very poorly in the larger scheme of things.
I've often seen feedback from people saying, oh, this is the kind of stuff they love, and then it's a video that got like 15,000 views or whatever. Like, okay, you know.
Just like with Skylargrim's example, a lot of people who say they left the channel and would like to see this type of content, and then they might come back, and even current viewers who say they wish they could see more of other type of content, the type of content that they're all requesting usually does terribly on the channel. Confirmed once again with the more recent videos that I've tried doing this with. So I do appreciate the sentiment when people offer suggestions in what content they think that I should be doing, but nearly every single suggestion that they come forward with are videos that just do terribly when they're made. With the current metrics, it seems like a video reaching 40,000 seems to be doing all right these days. And look, I want to be very clear, right? I am very grateful for whatever views I get. A video that gets 20,000 views is actually still a huge audience.
Do you believe this statement? Oops, sorry. Do you think it doesn't sound like a man that's happy with getting 20,000 views? He doesn't sound like a man that's happy with 40,000 views. He sounds like he's upset if he's not getting 100 or 200 or 300,000 views per video. I mean, it's a nice thing to say, but yeah, it's like, it doesn't sound very sincere. If you're making a 40-minute video complaining about not getting enough views, you're like, well, I still love getting 20,000 views. I find it hard to believe. Thal with a $10 says, I don't know why he doesn't do videos on weird things in old battles, like a battle of the Agincourt. The archers took off their pants, of course they couldn't leave their spot to relieve themselves. That's actually pretty funny. That would actually be pretty good. I could see that. I saw a pretty funny video, actually. It was like a short content, so I guess it was like YouTube slop, right? And I think the video was like entitled, What Do Archers Do When They Run Out of Things? And there was like a battle music playing, and there's just going pew, 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 and he runs out of videos. He runs out of things. It's just him standing there for like a minute while there's battle sounds, and he's just like, it was pretty entertaining, but again, pretty niche. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe you should suggest that to Shad.
Even 10,000 views is a tremendous amount of reach. And that, I can think about the amount of people that would fill a large stadium. 10,000 fills a lot. So I'm very grateful for whatever views I get.
He is making shorts. And he's making a lot of views from shorts. But the problem is that shorts don't make money. And he's been unable to choose a path with shorts because he got wild success when the shorts thing came out, and he got millions and millions of views. Then he thought they were destroying his channel, so he unlisted them all, and he brought them all back in January. Like, if you see this increase of 60, it is funny though, isn't it? Funny when you look at the channel thing, the channel stats, right? And he's like, well, how many views has he gotten in the last 3 months? Well, 70 million. And it's like, wait a minute, he's complaining about views and he got 70 million views because these are when you unlist a video, the views disappear from your channel, and when you relist them, they're added back all at the same time. So he unlisted 66 million views worth of short content, and then he brought it back because he thought that I guess he decided to re-experiment with shorts, or maybe someone told him that shorts were actually good or something. But you can actually see the gap, the gap in his channel here. This is where the shorts were unlisted, and like I said, it's kind of funny that when you look at this, it's like one of those graphs you see with like the Dark Ages or something. It's like human technology index growth or something, and then it regains the same spot where it was. But you can see it's an upward trend. It's always an upward trend. Thal says, sorry about all the super chats. You know what? It's okay. You can even send more if you want to. Well, not really, lol. You did this yourself. Well, thank you very much. Big support today from Thal, and I will be checking out your 40K videos after the stream probably.
Even if it's now.
Yeah. All right. Very funny. The gap on his shorts. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Fraction of what the regular views I used to get several years ago. Yet the thing that does need to be said is that videos that will get 20,000 views on average and stuff like that is not enough to support a business going forward. It's
kind of interesting though. Like there's there's almost like a parallel here you see between like celebrities that are kind of like were really popular, flash in the pan, and they're not very popular anymore, and they kind of show up at like events or something, and it's kind of like it's a little bit. It's like, yeah, I used to be a pretty big deal, but you know, the Hollywood movie algorithm stopped recommended my acting roles, and now my YouTube movie career is being shut down because of the Hollywood algorithm. No, it's just that the audience is not as interested. I think that's the reality here that I'm seeing, and it's becoming more evident as I'm going through this. We're going to hit the goal, perhaps.
A couple of strategies I am going to try, especially for the supporters of this channel. It is only thanks to the supporters that the channel is even still around currently. It's our membership support, and this is through YouTube memberships, Patreon, subscribe.
I'm kind of curious. Can we do a Patreon checkup on Shad? Or does he hide his numbers? I mean, if you've got a Patreon, you should hide your numbers. What the fuck? This man has 1,700 paid members? Holy shit. I'm going to assume. So at an absolute minimum, he's making $1,700 a month passive income from his Patreon. And that's at the $1 tier. But people usually, like the one you might like, that's the one that's usually the most popular tier. So if he's making, he could be making $10,000 a month on Patreon alone. Wait a second. Shad. Exclusive, like the $3 tier is the exclusive content is for $3. So if you the $1 tier doesn't do anything. Shad. Oh no, my YouTube views. Well, I've got 1,700 subscribers. Like, now, to be fair to Shad, he does have 1 to 2 employees, maybe more. But I don't get why you do that. Like, I think as a YouTuber, you should maybe get an editor when you get a bit larger. But unless you're like a multi-million view per channel, view per video channel, you shouldn't have like a team. And like, this is honestly one of the things that I have kind of a problem with Shad's content these days. Is I think this like his co. I thought this was like his son or something.
Greetings, I'm
so,
Shad.
like,
Greetings, I'm.
So he has like this guy, and this guy's on like permanent payroll, I guess. I thought it was like his son, but I guess it's not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it doesn't matter. But when you start hiring employees, YouTube goes from a very cheap, high profit job to just a regular sort of thing. Like if you're one guy, you're living in your home and you're making videos in your backyard, the cost to benefit ratio is incredible. But as you start hiring people and building out the business, that goes down in a big way. And I feel like a lot of YouTubers make a mistake in expanding the business. Like, well, you got to spend money to make money. Yeah, but like when your cost to producing is basically zero and it's almost all profit, except for the swords that you buy, especially if you already have a backyard to play with the swords in, it feels like a massive mismanagement of the job in itself, right? But I mean, that's just my theory. Thal with another $10 big support says, I always tell new YouTubers, streams are good to bring in money fast if you can do it. Evergreen, though, is the better way. I agree with this, actually. As you make money for years with effort once. 40K, Star Wars, D&D, etc. I 100% agree, and that's why I focus on that on my other channel. And my other channel, I think, passively gains quite a bit of passive subscribers. I can check because I'm logged into the other channel on my phone. Let me have a look. My other channel, I uploaded like one video in the last month, basically, apart from a short, and it's got 250,000 views passively, which is great. Can't complain about that. Dave says he overexpanded, he hired people and hasn't controlled his costs, a classic mistake that people keep making with running small businesses. The worst example I think I've seen of this is Tim Pool. I've been watching a bit of the Tim Pool stuff on the Kino Casino because I don't watch him myself. And his entire compound seems like a massive scam. He like hired like 90 people and he's just running like a podcast that he could do out of his bedroom. And they've got like a bunch of skateboarders that just get high and have fun all day. That sounds like such a scam. And now he can't do it now that the Russians aren't paying him money and he has to sell out to Ben Shapiro or something. I don't know. That was the funniest content when they had that guy that was taking a nap under the skate park ramp and everyone was getting fired. And he came in, he's like, guys, have we thought about doing like a game jam, man? That was some good content. I think they've clipped it on the Kino Casino channel. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's really funny. It's very, very funny stuff. And I love that. What's his name? The stoner guy. That guy's hilarious.
Subscribestar and Player, that comprises more than half of our current revenue that we make. Our ad revenue is
So he's getting half of his revenue is from Patreon, half is it from advertisers? What about his sponsorships?
beyond apocalyptic at the moment. It's the worst I've seen in like 7 or more years. And so it is those viewers that I am going to be giving more attention to. And I have a question to ask
Is it Ian?
not only our supporters, but potential supporters towards the end of the video.
So I picked it up here. Well, there's actually this is kind of an ad video. It's an interesting concept he comes up at the end of this, by the way. Because when I heard this part of the video, when I was doing my preview watch, and when I usually skip through, I don't watch the entire thing. But he's got a new little scheme. He's going to start selling his videos to patrons and members only or something. So this is a bit of an ad. He's a bit of a whinge and it's a bit of an ad, which kind of takes a bit of the sincerity out of it. But it's a kind of an interesting idea. I do like that he's trying new things though, but maybe he's trying too much at the same time.
Want your help with something. So let me kind of explain in greater detail what is exactly going on with the algorithm. What is its focus?
Audience.
And also share some things, what other, what do you call them? YouTube gurus. These are the people that, study the algorithm, try and figure
out. All right. I don't think you should trust YouTube gurus. And I love watching YouTube gurus. And I know that I've described myself as something of an analytics guy. But YouTube, like grow your channel, YouTube channels are kind of, a lot of them are slop, I'll say. Dave with the $5. And we hit the goal, says Ian Crossley. TBF is talent on Timcast. Yeah, isn't he just like Tim's friend that gets high and smokes weed all day? I don't know.
About what
Let's
type
fucking
of
go.
content
Thank you very much, Dave.
Videos, to help YouTubers out in the new year and things. And there is a good video of one of them talking about this stuff, mentioning many of the things that I've said for a while already. But let's hear what they have to say in completion.
Here's kind of
so like
what's going on. The social platform.
Right, so this guy on the left, he's called Think Media, and he does videos like, this is how you get 1,000 subscribers, or best tricks to go viral on YouTube, or like try this one hack to get more. Like the majority of the advice that these YouTube gurus give you is garbage, or it's information that was good in the past, and it doesn't really work. And the reason it doesn't really work is because if it worked like they said it did, then everyone would have a giant YouTube channel, right? Like this is Copium content for small YouTubers. Like these are the guys that see a gold rush and they sell shovels, which is not a bad business strategy. They do very, very well, but the entire Think Media audience is like people with less than 1,000 subscribers that are just thinking, if I change one thing, then my channel is going to explode. And there's a few things that you can do to help your channel's growth. But basically it boils down to make good content, make a good thumbnail, and get a catchy title, and then recommend more of your content at the end of the video. That's like basically the only advice that's actually worth its salt in 2025. So what may be happening is Shad, because he's depressed about his views and his income, is he's watching these channels, seeing these tips and thinking, now I've got it, and now I'll try this, and then it doesn't work, and it's like, well, if I'm doing everything right, because Shad never talks about how his content might be bad. He always talks about how it's good or even better than it used to be, but he never takes into consideration that maybe it's not as interesting to the YouTube audience anymore. And I think like when you think to yourself, like, I'm doing everything right, it must be the man is putting me down, and that causes you to get into a bit of a spiral of depression and hopelessness. And I say this because it's kind of what I experienced when I first started my other channel, the channel that I was talking about earlier, the one that gets passively about 200,000 views a month. That channel I worked on for a long time and nothing worked. And then one night it changed. And it wasn't because I had a new trick. It wasn't because I had like this amazing like insider knowledge. It was because I made a good video and people started watching it. I just started making a good content and people started liking it. And I started making videos that people wanted to watch more than the videos that I wanted to make. And that's a bit of a sacrifice that sometimes you have to make. If you want to be the view guy, if you want to be the money from YouTube guy, you have to sacrifice what you want in favor of what people want to watch. And that doesn't mean you have to sell out and only make that content. You can make content you like too, but just accept that content's not going to do as well. And you can diversify. All right. And Thrall with another, massive support, says, I've had 4 channels throughout 6 years. I think I'm sort of I've got many channels as well, maybe much more than 4. but to varying degrees of success. I'll kill myself making a video nobody watches. I slap them together and that is trash. Everyone loves it. Yeah, that sometimes happens. It's the ratio principle. 20% of your work is going to be 80% of your revenue. So I just make what I want now. The audience wins. I surrender. Good for you. I feel like there's nothing wrong with having side channels. My solution is to cope. What do you mean by that? How is that cope? Accepting that the videos that I want to make aren't necessarily the ones that people want to watch. That's not coping. That's accepting the reality. Like if I want to make a very autistic, esoteric topic, I'll have a lot of fun, but maybe people aren't going to watch it, and that's okay. That's not coping. Coping is when you're saying like all your videos are great and nobody's watching it because a mysterious force is like holding you down. And if it wasn't for that mysterious force, you'd be free to be successful. But let's see what these experts of YouTube tell us. Let's see what they say.
Platforms, all of the social platforms, they are deprioritizing content from the friends. For example, if it's a social network,
that's Facebook.
They're deprioritizing it from businesses, and they're also deprioritizing it from subscribers. And everybody on YouTube that has worked really hard to grow a big subscriber base can understand this. And Sean, you know this really well, right? You've got like 1 million+ subscribers on one of your channels, and you and I both know that they do not see ever all of the content, despite all this work and all these years of work that you put in. What that does is it changes kind of the metrics that we used to care about. Because the metrics that everybody used to care about, they want to get one of those silver play things, which I've got one, you've got one, or they want a gold one, right? Or they want to get 100,000 subscribers or followers or whatever, or 1 million.
Okay.
And the problem is that that has become a metric that's not as important anymore.
Now, this is true, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, that subscribers aren't as important as returning viewers, but we've known this for years now. This is like a change that happened 4 years ago.
It's a vanity metric.
Yes, that's
These
true.
numbers now, followers, subscribers, size of network, are useless. Instead, what's happening is they're
not useless. They're very good at getting sponsorships. If you say to a sponsor, I have 100,000 subscribers, they're usually too dumb to realize what a returning viewer is, and you can get more money out of them that way. But I don't take very many sponsors, but I always try and do my bit. I try and be fairly ethical with my sponsorships, and I don't think I've ever received one on this channel. Although, Rumble did reach out to me. Not for this one. But for my other channel, they're like, hey, do you want to start a Rumble channel? And I've actually slagged Rumble off quite a bit, saying they're a trash website. So I'm like, not really. Maybe they're like, no, you gotta trust us. It's great for your videos. I'm like, look, I'll register a free account, upload 5 of my YouTube videos, and I'll see what happens. And they're like, thank you. So we'll see. I have very low expectations for Rumble, especially for non-live stream content and non-political content. But we'll see. I don't have that much faith in Rumble, to be honest.
Platforms, as you know, are showing your followers and your fans completely different content. And this is the challenge that we're up against.
Basically, what you're saying is that we are seeing more content from strangers than we are from the channels we're subscribed to. Now, there's downside to this if you're established and you've been in this a while like you and I have, because there is this quote of subscribers don't matter. And there's a lot of truth to that you might have a lot of subscribers, but you're not actually getting the views or the reach. You're probably losing from the start if you're depending on the TikTok creator fund or YouTube ad revenue, because even if you are good at generating views in the short term, if you don't diversify your income streams or really think about a deeper and more diverse foundation financially in the creator economy,
I mean, it's not the creator economy. You should be diversifying your income, whatever you're doing. Now, on YouTube specifically, people usually talk about maybe get 40% of your income from ad revenue, and the rest should be coming from sponsors or fan funding. It seems like Shad did take that to heart, though, because he implied that he was getting 50% from Patreon and Subscribestar and everything, and 50% from ad revenue. So he's not doing terrible. Maybe he's doing terrible if he's got like 10 employees, or maybe he's just paying his one or two employees too much. And it's nice to be able to pay your friends or people you like a lot of money, but it's not necessarily the best business decision. That's why you shouldn't hire friends or family typically.
Trouble to the ups and downs of CPMs and RPMs and ad revenue and trends.
So this algorithm change might only be temporary. I doubt it. Nearly every single...
Well, I mean, this change happened a long time ago. This isn't recent. And part of that had nothing to do with algorithms. It had to do with income diversity. And the first part of it was more talking about Facebook. So it's not the best clip. I would not have used that to support my point. And it feels like that was a clip from a long time ago. I wonder if he was just searching for something to support him, support his point in the beginning, rather than searching for an answer to his problem. Another 5 from the epic 40k gamer Thrall says, I love the change in the algo. I'm seeing new channels all the time and it's wonderful. They just don't want the competition. Yeah, I'm feeling like it's a little bit like that. Like the old guard are kind of they've been gatekeeping for a long time, and now they're upset that people are actually benefiting other than them.
Change that YouTube has done that has affected the platform and also this channel for the worse over the last 5 years has been a consistent, regular thing. And instead of ever getting better, it's only continued to get worse. And if that,
I mean, this isn't true. Like, there are loads of channels that are a lot more controversial than Shad's, and that are a lot more niche than Shad's, that are just doing fine. I think there's an element of being very stubborn here, and he's just refusing to adapt. And what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Now, to be fair, he has said that he's experimenting, trying different things, but it doesn't seem like he's actually taking the data that he needs from those experiments, because he knows what content does well, because he said that he's had content that's done very well on his channel in the last few months, and we've seen this ourselves. The thing is, you have to double down on what works. He's got like 5 kids. He's like a Mormon or something, isn't he? Don't they have like a bunch of kids? 5 kids to feed, man. I gotta be careful when I hear 5 kids. It triggers flashbacks, but I'll try not to say them just yet.
Trend continues.
Trends. This
channel is stuffed. This genre of content is stuffed, and I legitimately might have to shut it down over the.
No, you have to fire your friend. That's the harsh reality of being a boss, and that's why you shouldn't hire family or friends. Is that sometimes you have to fire expenses that aren't bringing money into the channel. And I actually do like his co-host. Like, what's his name? Tyron or something? And I think Tyron's got his own channel that's doing very well, which maybe, it's fun to be able to make videos with your friends, but maybe you can't pay him how much you're paying. I mean, they live in Australia, so I assume that they're giving them quite high wages. Like, that's the thing. The boss has to make hard decisions sometimes. And one of those decisions may be cutting the fat.
Christmas break, I legitimately was faced with the very real prospect of leaving Shadiversity completely. The thing that's kept me here, sticking me around, is our supporters. Okay, without our supporters, the time I put into this channel doesn't seem to be financially viable. And I actually think if I devoted that same amount of time that I put into Shadiversity into Night's Watch has the potential to reach far more viewers and grow far larger than because that focuses on trending topics. That's stuff that algorithm is much more willing to push more than.
It's the audience. So he has a second channel, Night's Watch. Actually, let's have a look. Can we find that? It should be like his recommended thing, right? Night's Watch. He's got 2 other channels, the Shadlands and Night's Watch. Let's see how they're doing. So Shadlands. Let's see. What about this channel? It's got 300,000 views, 35 videos. Where's my YouTube statistics plugin? Let's see if we can get this up. The Shadlands. Oh wait, this isn't the one that he's focused on, right? This is like his old project video or something. This video is up 18% over the last month, last 30 days, last 3 months. Not so good over the, but he hasn't really put any content on it. Like, wait a second. There's been no content on this channel for 6 months. Never mind. That's the wrong channel. So it's this one, Night's Watch is what I was looking for. Is this going to load? Hello? Hello? Night's Watch. Let's go back. Come on. There we go. Night's Watch. 700 videos. There we go. There we go. And he uploaded 5 days ago. Let's see. Go to 3 months, see what he's doing on this one. He's getting still like 600,000 views over the last, what I say, like 3 months. That's pretty good. 500,000 views is pretty good. Is he doing shorts on this channel? No, he's not. So this is all regular views. and looks like he's getting 20,000, 40,000, 20,000, 14,000, and only how many subscribers to this channel? That's 160,000 actually. Moana, massive disappointment. Oh no, I heard that was a good movie though. I heard people love Moana. All right, let's continue. Where were we?
Regular sword content, it would make much more sense for me to focus on Night's Watch. But I'm not there yet, and it's our current supporters that have kept me around. It's you guys.
Oh,
and so I'm
sweet.
still going to try to see if there's a way to keep it going. And that's going to be focused with the stuff that I want to ask my supporters towards the end of this video. And we can pray that maybe there might be a renaissance for sword content online, a change.
That's a bit cheeky.
I don't think so,
Renaissance,
honestly. But maybe there is
But there's a bit of self-defeat in his attitude here. Like, it's like, well, this might work, but I don't think so. You kind of don't want to say that. It's not going to improve the audience's feelings for you, as it were. Another 5. Thal says, there's a rumor going around that when you drop a short, you should turn off notify subscribers. It will reach further in the algorithm. I tested this and didn't have any difference for me. I have heard this as well, but I didn't find any noticeable change when I tried it. And I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to make a short now and it's going to go super. No, it didn't. It just got the regular amount that mine usually get. My shorts usually only get like 6 or 7,000 views. And then the YouTube just turns off their views for whatever reason. I don't know how shorts work. I posted one of them on YouTube. It got like 1,000 views. And I posted on TikTok and it got like 200,000 views. And then I can't replicate it on YouTube. So I don't know. Shorts are still a mystery to me. But I'm trying to learn. And I've been trying some new things. And I had one that I posted the other day that did very well, actually. But that one went out to all my subscribers.
The way that I can make it somewhat sustainable. There's a new strategy if I just focus on making nearly every single video related to something that the algorithm is willing to promote, which is kind of similar to what I've always done, but that's always been half and half. I've always still made just full-blown nerdy sword-related content. I need to step outside the kind of box, and even with the nerdy kind of stuff, it's like, all right, is there a way to frame it or connect it with something that the algorithm might be willing to promote? And I think there is a way.
Oh, he's got a secret plan.
Stop the bleeding.
All right, I'm going to put this content up to 1.25 because I feel like we're not getting as much information, and now it's just kind of a little bit of a whinge session. I need to reset my chat, actually. It's not loading.
And then it leaves the question, what about the people that just loves the straight blanket sword content without any gimmick or angle to try and attract the algorithm promotion? I think there is a way for me to still make that content for the supporters and the niche community that loves it for what it is. Again, mentioning that towards the end. But based off of all the information that's available, we can see what's going on, because it used to be that subscriber count and views on a video were a very strong indicator of the quality of the video, and YouTube would be willing to promote it to the people who have said they want to see it or have watched videos of that same creator. YouTube is abandoning the metric of the amount of subscribers. Has completely, like, basically, I do not look at this channel as having 1.7 million subscribers. I kind of see the subscriber amount to be nothing. This is a 0 subscribe channel that is making sword content. And
well, no, it's like the returning audience. That's a subscriber count. That's the only metric that matters in today's YouTube. Like, he is saying a few things that are true here. Like, the subscriber count doesn't matter. That's true. But we knew this like years ago. I want to say like 3-4 years ago. YouTube actually said this themselves, that they're moving away from subscribers as a model. And like I said, they actually toyed with the idea of making their subscribers actually hidden from everyone, like they did with the dislike button, right? But the thing is, YouTubers all really complained about it because, like, if everyone's got no subscribers, then how can you tell who's special, sort of thing? You know how it gets. Yes, do like the stream if you would be so kind. I appreciate it.
As we heard in that video, I can reshare the clip where it's a vanity metric. It means nothing right now in the current climate.
They want to get 100,000 subscribers or followers or whatever, or 1 million. And the problem is that that has become a metric that's not as important anymore. It's a vanity metric. These numbers now, followers, subscribers, size of network, are useless.
And you can really see how that just kills off the niche communities, because I don't think
No, it doesn't. This is just not true whatsoever. Again, if you want to see content from a channel, every time you click the notify all button on the subscribe, you ring the bell, right? The thing is, people say like subscribe and like the bell so much, it's just like noise now. It doesn't mean anything. But if you actually want to see content from somebody, you have to subscribe, then click on the subscribe again and go to all. That's the only way YouTube would recommend you for everything. Now, here's the problem. That's annoying because when you get those notifications on your phone, that's just really frustrating if it happens like 15 times a day. So most people, myself included, are subscribed with no notifications turned on. So I have to actually go and look for that content, look through my feed. And the feed and the subscriptions is less promoted now than the home tab. Because like I said, YouTube doesn't blow up channels anymore. They blow up videos. But the videos have to be videos that the audience wants to watch. And that's the issue here, is that the audience that wants to watch Shad's content is smaller than it used to be. And that's probably a reflection of the changing landscape of YouTube. People like reaction content. They like live stream content. They like people talking. They like drama, those sort of things. That's what's popular. Breakdowns of popular media, talking about the news, talking about the topic of the day, whatever it is. This niche content has a place, but the place is niche. It's small. And as long as you've optimized it, your content well, they'll be able to find it. But it has to be searchable. They want to search for it, right? And one thing I noticed when I was going through Shad's content is I know one thing, again, there's like these little details that I could criticize him on perhaps, is that it seems like he's stopped using video tags at all. There's no video tags in this video. Now, YouTube actually did say that video tags aren't useful anymore. But even if this makes 1% change, that could be a big difference. Like not even just putting Shadiversity in your channel tags, not even just putting sword content in your channel tags. Or sorry, there's a channel tags and there's video tags. And even looking at his channel tags, this is the content tags you put on yourself for your channel. Pop, culture, swords, medieval, education, castles, Middle Ages, RPG, fantasy, video game, role-playing, role. It's not really sword, it's like pop culture. But like this seems like a real mistake. Especially if you're doing something that's really esoteric or has interesting spelling. That's the kind of things you should put video tags in. And maybe his other content is different. Do I have like a different video of his? Let's see this, a Ninja Gaiden. Like if there's not Ninja Gaiden in his tags, then that's a big mistake. No video tags. Oops, sorry. There we go. So again, like YouTube did say that's not a very useful thing to do anymore because channel spamming used to be, spamming tags used to be a meta on YouTube, but it doesn't really work as much anymore. But it does make a small difference. And sometimes those small differences really add up, especially when the difference in getting like a breakout video and just regular views, it can be 1 or 2% on the click-through rate.
Content is ever going to be mainstream. This is not the type of content that most people are going to consume. And if YouTube is only focusing on content that most people are consuming because it's more popular, as we see, this leaves the niche communities completely devastated. D&D channels, sword channels now, and many other niche communities completely stuffed in the sense that will never get mainstream.
Hold on a second. Don't you think YouTube search function is trash? Too biased? You can search for a specific title and it gives you approved stuff. Yes and no. You have to be a little bit. I have noticed personally that this is a reflection of Google because YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. And I will say that honestly, there is a bit of truth to this, that Google in particular, when you search for things, it's not as good as it used to be. And it used to be like you could find exactly what you're looking for on Google. Now I have to like find creative ways to find what I want. So there is some truth to that. And YouTube's been pushing a lot of promoted content in stores and things like that as well. But I think if you know what you're looking for, you can definitely find it. And like I said, this is like niche stuff. So if you're searching for how to use swords, all the sword content's going to come up. It's not going to be like, it shouldn't be like anime reviews or whatever is really in the thing. Yeah, it's unfortunate that Google is gimping their algorithm for sponsored content, and other search engines are getting really competitive based on compared to Google. But I think what he's saying here is that there's going to be no room for niche content because YouTube's not promoting it. But it doesn't need to be promoted if people are searching for it if they know about it. I think like you need to take some initiative. A lot of things. If you're building a niche community, like you need to get them on mailing lists or on Discords, or tell them this time you say I upload every Friday at 6 o'clock. You can check back every week. That sort of thing. Those are the things. That's how you build like a niche community and keep them coming back. It's kind of like wanting to have your cake and eat it as well, or eat it too, I suppose. Like he's saying, he wants a place for niche content to be there, but he doesn't understand that it's niche. He wants a niche thing to become popular and gobble up all the views, but that's just not the way it is. It is a smaller audience.
String or larger views that could support a business. I think there'll always be people consuming some measure of that content, but the algorithm isn't going to be pushing it to people who are not already consuming the content. That's the big kind of key and takeaway, especially.
Wait, that's exactly how it works, though. If you're consuming the content, it gets recommended to you, but the people consuming the content is smaller than it used to be, so there's getting less recommendations. Again, it's like a chicken egg sort of situation.
That now the algorithm doesn't seem to promote videos from the same creator if you watch one from a certain creator. For example, my video looking at the...
This is not true. If I watch someone's video, I instantly get recommended one of their other videos. And a YouTube creator will almost always link their own video in the end part of the video. And if people aren't staying to the end of the video, that's a you problem. That's a retention problem. Like, and usually only like 50 or 40% of the people stick around to the end of the video. But if you're not making your content... Sorry, I'm going to cough, I think. If you're not keeping your content, your people watching your content for until the end, then that's a problem on your end, because you're not being entertaining enough for people to stay.
Naruto sword did really well.
Hey, wait a second. He says it like he says Naruto as well. Okay, it's not just me. It's not just me who mispronounces Naruto. Okay, all Australians say Naruto. Listen to this again. Okay, I feel vindicated in this moment.
If you watch one from a certain creator. For example, my video looking at the Naruto sword did really well. 200,000 views, over 200,000 views. What was usually the case, especially 5 years ago. So when you had a video that did really well, that would give a boost to not only your content across the board, subscriber boost, and it would help the channel out.
Yeah, typically what happened was for every view you got, you would get 7 impressions next week. So an impression is when it shows up on your home feed or something. Did I close the thing here? So like, for example, this video, it got 50,000 views. Shad's video got 50,000 views. So it'll get 7 times that next time in impressions. And this video already had 600,000 impressions, which is quite a lot. Like, there's no way this video was suppressed. It just had a low click-through rate comparatively. Because 4.4 isn't terrible, but it's not like good. Like I said, 8% is like good, or at least it used to be. But here's the thing: if you get those extra impressions, but nobody watches it, then you're going to be less suggested in the future. So this is the problem with having 2 different types of content. And I know this feeling well, because I've done this a lot on my own channel. But like he's saying here, he makes the Naruto sword, and then the next video recommended is like how to different names of swords. The person that watches the Naruto sword video is not going to click on the high knowledge, esoteric knowledge of the sword video. So that's a wasted impression. So this is an issue of having 2 different audiences that are fighting for the same impressions. It seems like it's like really obvious. I don't see why he doesn't realize this. Like, the people that are looking at the Naruto content, they want to see more Naruto content. Or they want to see more anime content. So if your next video, if like you have a 1 million views on the Naruto video, you get 7 million impressions next week. And maybe that's not how it works anymore. But the next video is like, oh, these are the best shin guards in all of medieval history. Yeah, less people are going to watch that. Sorry. That's kind of the problem with mixing radically different types of content. You might think they're similar because they're both swords, but they're not. One of them's anime and one of them's history.
When that video was doing really well, there was no follow-through boost in any other video or significant subscriber boost from a video that...
All right. Well, let's have a look. Sorry, let's go back. Was I think that... sorry.
Rings of Power Season 2 is done. Shit. And what an absolute cat.
All right, sorry. All right, we'll just go to his channel like here through this thing. There we go. I just want to see what his follow-up video was. Come on. There we go. Let's see if this is working. Yeah, it does kind of sound like he's like so close, you know? Like he's on the cusp of understanding it, but then it's like they're rejecting it internally. It may be an actual example of cognitive dissonance, whereas he has all the answers, but he refuses to accept them in his own mind, which is kind of sad. Because I have not seen anything here that is evident to me. All right, well, it's not working on this. For some reason, it's not working on this tab. I think my computer's shitting itself because it's like 5 years old at this point. Maybe I have one of those gimped Intel drives or something. Yeah, well, I'll try and find it out later. I will continue. After this, message from my sponsor, Thrall, with $5 says Australia is a land of survival, not pronunciation. It is home to the roaming bands of ravaging emus. It is the Katakan world of Death World from 40k. Yeah, I'm not familiar with all the deaf worlds, but is that the one that's next to the Eye of Terror? I've read a lot of the books, but I've never played the game. Although I really like Battlefleet Gothic Armada. That's a really fun game. That's probably the only 40k. Oh no, I played Mechanicus actually. I played 40k Mechanicus, and it's like a turn-based game with the and it's got like an organ, like electric organs as a soundtrack. Killer soundtrack on that game. Sorry.
Got
let's continue.
200,000 views, over 200,000 views. So instead of recommending other videos that I've made that is from the same creator as the video
Gothic
they're
Armada's
watching,
fun.
YouTube will vastly more likely recommend other Naruto videos. Like, have you noticed this recently? I certainly have. When I watch a video of a certain topic, I get 2 to 5 recommendations as soon as I refresh it of similar topic videos, not videos from that same creator. And then if it's a more niche subject, it is less likely to recommend videos of that topic.
I'm going to do a quick experiment. I might be felted right here, right now. All right. Hold on. Oh, no, it's loading. Never mind. I don't know why. It's like, I think it's because I got so many tabs open, because I've got like 37 tabs open right now, but the other ones are on my other screen. But what I wanted to do is just go to my home tab. And let's have a look. Well, this might not be a good example because I'm logged into different... Actually, that's what's happening, is I'm logged into 2 different YouTube channels. But we're watching a Shad video right now, right? Oh, look. A Shadiversity video. I haven't seen this video. The perplexing truth behind sword names and things. So Shad has been recommended to me. So I'm watching a Shad video, and it's recommending me a Shad video. Interesting. I wonder if I can find another one. Now you guys can see what YouTube is recommending me. Maybe it's a bit cringe. Oh, there's a new Darkest Dungeon update, actually. There's like a free DLC. Free DLC for Darkest Dungeon. Let's see. Can we spot another Shad video? Got at least one. So what he's saying right now is not true, because I literally just got recommended a Shad video. But it looks like just the one. But there is a lot of other content that I watch, so it wouldn't surprise. Oh, another Shadiversity video. Look at that. How would animals survive in the fantasy world? So the Shadiversity is being recommended to me. But his thumbnails don't stand out to me. They don't really stand out to me. So that's 2 Shad videos I've seen in my front. So this is... Stop making fun of my squeaky mouse. Okay? I'm very conscious. Another Shadiversity video, although I've already watched this one. Another Shadiversity video. And I'm not subscribed. I'm not subscribed to Shadiversity because I unsubscribed. Well, actually, I am subscribed right now. Never mind. I'll unsubscribe and maybe test it later. But what he said is just plainly false, at least in my own experience. I was watching a Shadiversity video and I got recommended 5 other Shadiversity videos. Yeah, I know, guys. The squeaky wheel, okay? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, I guess. If you keep talking about it, I'll probably buy a new mouse. But there you go. Like, YouTube is recommending me Shadiversity videos, but none of the videos that I saw I felt like watching. And I think that's what's happening with the majority of the audience.
Anyway, because it's a niche. Fewer people are watching it across the board. Instead, it will flood, React content, stuff that's trending, which leaves the niche communities completely in the lurch. As a result of this change, there is a lot of videos that have barely any views that are getting far more recommendations than before. You've probably noticed this in your own recommendations. I certainly have. Heaps of content that barely has any views, and that's really good for new channels.
Yes, it is good.
Up. And I certainly don't...
Okay, stop. That's good for new channels. Let's just stop there.
Begrudge them for making the most of it. I think that possibly could boost them a lot. One of the issues involved with that is that for a lot of videos that do not have large audience or views, in a lot of cases, the reasons for that is because the videos actually aren't that great. Most of the recommendations I get for...
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for that, but let's all right, you know what? We have to listen to this just one more time. Just listen carefully. He says the quiet part out loud again. Wait, am I muted? Have I muted this whole time?
Recommendations I get for videos that have barely any views have those few views for reasons. I've clicked on them sometimes and found them of very low quality.
Sorry, I was muted. Let's go back. He says, I was going to play that for him, but I'm playing it for me now.
That great. Most of the recommendations I get for...
Is it muted now? Because it says it's unmuted. Is it still muted? Double audio. Is it working now? Is it working now? It's not muted. It's muted. After pause, no. Your mum was. I literally have muted it. It's guys. Can you just tell me if it's muted or not for real? Because I you guys are just tricking me. Look, now I'm gonna have to check. I don't trust you anymore, so I'm loading up my own stream on my second. I'm gonna find out myself because I can't trust you guys anymore. All right.
Which is great. I like finding good new content, but for my viewing experience overall, I have not. Which is great. I like finding seen a benefit for my.
All right, you guys were lying. Now it won't stop playing. You guys were lying. Never mind. Never mind. I can't. You guys don't even deserve to hear what he said now. Shut up. I can't trust you. Echo in audio. I'm going to remove this screen entirely. I'm going to stop my screen, reshare my screen. Holy shit. I have to go back and check the records.
Myself, I would like to be recommended the content that I have subscribed to from the creators that I want to see. There is so much stuff that's just going completely under the radar in the niche.
Okay, it's working. But now my phone won't stop playing it. Okay. But Jim wants on? Okay, I'll check my Ouija board. But no, shit, now we lost the really good point.
Very low quality only.
All right, this is the important part. This is the important point.
Great. Most of the recommendations I get for videos that have barely any views have those few views for reasons. I've clicked on them sometimes and found them of very low quality. Only occasionally have I found a dime.
So the views that you get recommended don't have any views because they're bad. The videos that people aren't watching of yours are good though, even though nobody's watching them, according to you. Yeah, the quality is just not good enough. You just need to up the quality or accept that it's a small niche or that you're incorrectly targeting them with your keywords and your thumbnails and your title.
In the rough, which is great. I like finding good new content, but for my viewing experience overall, I have not seen a benefit. For myself, I would like to be recommended the content that I have subscribed to from the creators that I want to see. There is so much stuff that's just going completely under the radar in the niche kind of interest that I would like to see. I think one of the reasons why the sword community did do fairly well in the past, and we could...
It was because of anime. It was popular in popular culture. There was more sword shit on TV, and now it's less popular.
Get videos sometimes up to 100,000 views regularly. It's because we were relying on our subscribers and that they would get alerted of when we made, an upload or video.
No, that's not true.
So when you have over 1 million people that have said,
time.
yes, I would like to know when this creator uploads, all right, that of course is going to boost those video views a lot. That's basically dead now. And so when I make a video...
Yeah, it's changes in culture, I think. That's what he's failing to realize. It's like... This is, what is it? It was like the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees is still cool, right? Apparently, Katakan is an environment which creatures have the size of a Buick, and everything plants do is designed to kill, poison, and eat. Oh, yeah, okay. I think I have heard of that word now, but I thought it was next to the Eye of Terror. Maybe not. Maybe not. But thank you for the clarification, based 40K Chad.
On the terminology of swords now, it's not recommending it to my own viewers. It is a topic that will never be as mainstream or people will be as interested in the really kind of trending things or really popular stuff. And so that type of content, I think, will just languish in obscurity for forever now unless things change. And that is with the longer form content specifically. Sword content like that's in short format has a tendency to do all right. And yes, I've started doing shorts now. I stopped doing it because I felt that was one of the things that was harming long form content. And I do think it is shorts overall, but not doing shorts doesn't solve the problem. If one of the few ways that the algorithm is willing to promote sword related content is in shorts formats, I can use that then to try and promote my longer form content, which is exactly what I'm doing. And
I don't think there's a negative benefit. I mean, sorry, I don't think there's no negative benefit. I don't think there's a negative effect from shorts, but YouTube did have a problem with shorts initially because there was very little crossover. It seems like shorts and long videos have their own ecosystem that don't necessarily affect each other. Now, it may have changed, but shorts are a very good way of corralling people into your long form content. Like if you have a quick teaser, but it can't just be a teaser. It has to be a good short, and it has to be a good video, and they have to be linked. And YouTube does allow people to link shorts to, like when you watch a video on a short, it says like there's like a shill thing at the bottom to click a longer form of the video. That's a problem that a lot of people make, is that you need to make sure it's both a good short but also a good ad for the longer video. And if you can watch the short and it answers the entire question, or it answers whatever the video is going to, like you say, a katana is better than broadswords, and the answer is in the short, nobody's going to watch the long form content. So you have to be clever about it. It's quite tricky, and it's very competitive, which is funny because shorts are so unprofitable. You used to be able to link shorts to content like outside of YouTube. That was a very lucrative way of making money, but they disabled links outside of YouTube from shorts now. So I'm not sure how much people are making with shorts anymore, but yeah, it's kind of like the one aspect of YouTube I don't really have very good data from, because I don't have any explosively viral shorts. Did I vote in the Australian elections? No. No, I didn't. I have no idea what the Prime Minister's name is or anything about Australian politics.
It's given a small boost to older videos and longer form videos, and it certainly helped that shorts can now be 3 minutes long instead of 1 minute long. And so in that sense, Sword content and Shadiversity, I think, will be around for a while in terms of being able to get people, to watch. But I'm not sure that's a sustainable model for supporting the business, though. That is a very significant consideration for me, of course. And even if I had to shift my focus away from Shadiversity because it becomes not financially viable.
Poor unfinancially viable Shad, but this is a financially viable super chat with $50. Let's go from Zadok Attack. We says, I probably wouldn't watch your videos if your humor wasn't better than your illiteracy. Your speech impediment is also funny, Mr. Kiwi Man. Also take my money. I read that without making any mistakes. Thank you very much. You see, when there's enough incentive on the table, I can speak correctly.
In the future, I'll still, of course, make.
So thank you very much. Big support today.
Occasionally, because
really good
I love
support
it.
Today.
Right? I started doing it because I love it, but I do need to focus on what can be sustainable to support my family. So what can I do to try and make it sustainable? I've tried daily content, and I'm kind of on that. It's not daily long form content. That was very, very hard to keep up. It is now long form, short form, each day. And I
feel like he's doing too much. I feel like he's spread himself thin, like not enough butter on toast. You know what I mean? Like doing a long form video, a short form video, and a live stream or something like every week, like every day. That's crazy. Like it's too much. Just dial back and make people want the content. Like if it's just too saturated. I mean, I love fish and chips, but I don't want to eat it every day. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, and maybe he's just dishing out too much slop. And if he, focused, dialed back, found out what people really wanted to watch, people would be more interested in watching. And sometimes less is more.
Putting out 6 videos a week, 3 long form, 3 shorts, and it is not bringing in nearly as much money because shorts don't make money. And if I was just to rely on ad revenue alone, I would have had to abandon the channel and focus on other things with only the occasional upload on Shadiversity. Because, as I've mentioned, it's only thanks to our supporters I'm still around. And so now I get to the thing that I really want to kind of discuss. And that is what I can do for my supporters, because it's only you guys.
All right. So here's what he can do for you, chat. This is what he can do for you. Just remember that. We're almost to the end of this. Don't worry about it.
That is still making this a sustainable endeavor. And so my question to not only my supporters, but they're the ones I, of course, want to focus on, because they're the ones I want to now please. Now, for me, making content is in part going to be trying to catch the algorithm. That used to be the primary focus, because that's what was.
So he's going to start making videos people want to see. Okay, good so far.
The most sustainable thing for a business. But that doesn't seem to be working out and could be ultimately a fruitless endeavor. And so then I want to shift a good portion of focus and my efforts to making content that will solely and more predominantly please my current supporters. What is the content you want to see? And what I want to try and do, this is still experimental.
It sounds good so far.
Can do it. I'll be making fuller, because on occasion we do have like a single dedicated video, but most of the exclusive content is behind the scenes kind of content, additional stuff, complementary stuff to support the main content. Because YouTube will not push more traditional sword related content, it just dies in obscurity. And
I just don't believe this, because I've seen multiple videos with sword related themes, which are, I believe, even from this year, that have over 1 million views. So it's not true. Royston S. Bailey says, Shad's an extreme extrovert, verbalizes every thought. Yeah, that does happen to some people sometime. We'll have to see. Thank you for the 2.
That's it. I want to make that content for my supporters primarily. And so my current plan, it'll take a week or 2 to put it into
Somebody
place,
already guessed it.
is that there's going to be a video that I'll make to try and catch the algorithm in some way. And in that video, I will promote and have a trailer for a more traditional, old school sword content style video that'll be made for the people that love it most, their supporters, the people that have been around here for a while. And that will be an exclusive video only for those that want to support it. To support the channel, all you need to...
All right. So this is what he can do for you, is now he's going to start charging money for the really esoteric sword knowledge videos. How are we feeling about this idea? It's a bold strategy. It might actually not be the worst idea in the world, but it sounds really bad. Because if these videos, like basically he said, I'm going to make slop videos that the algorithm wants to share. So basically he's going to make the most base, like pop culture, trending topic, news articles, the most clickbaity titles. He's going to make a bunch of slop, and then he's going to have an ad in the video to go pay $1 to go watch his really smart boy videos with like all the sword instruction videos. Like, I mean, he may see success from this, because if the stuff that people aren't interested in, the esoteric content, is behind a paywall, behind the members section, then it won't take up his impressions. So this may actually work. But then what he's done is just admitted that he's just going to make content for the audience. He's going to make videos that people want to watch, and he's just going to hide the videos he likes behind a paywall. I mean, it might work, but he's kind of just admitting defeat and saying, like, okay, the answer is just to make videos people want to see, and then hide the videos they don't want to see. Makes sense. It actually may work.
Do is give from $1 up. Any amount of support is appreciated, and I really appreciate the big supporters. Doesn't mean I don't value the people who give $1 is incredible and tremendously generous. And so for every supporter, there's going to be an exclusive, dedicated weekly video that is classic sword content. And look, it's a content that built this channel from the very beginning.
I mean, you don't have to say it like that, but yeah, he's kind of opening an OnlyFans, but it's just for sword content.
But that content, YouTube doesn't give a crap about. You guys care about that content. And so there's no incentive to make it for the algorithm anymore, but I don't want to stop making that content.
Again, just replace algorithm with audience. So there's no reason making this content, because the audience doesn't want to see it.
And I don't want people to miss out from making it. But the thing is, though, this is a business. There has to be some measure of viability to still make that content beyond the smaller niche community that want it, because it needs to be financially sustainable if you're doing it to support a business. This is a way for me to make the content for the community of people that love it. And to get access to it, all you need to do is, of course, donate $1 a month at the very beginning. If you really like it, you're welcome to donate more, of course. And of course, because of this, these dedicated videos are going to be requested by our supporters. We're going to be reaching out and asking you, if you're a supporter, what type of video that you want. Everyone can then share their...
Wait, but you said earlier in the video that that audience, people that comment on the video saying they used to watch this content but don't watch it anymore, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they want. Did he try nunchucks? Yeah, he made nunchucks once. I think I saw that video. Like, I mean, this isn't a terrible idea to listen to the audience. I like this so far, but like, I don't know if this is going to be garner any sympathy. The way he's presenting this, it's not good. Like, it comes from a place of desperation. It comes from a place of hopelessness. If he had pretended everything was going great and said, look guys, my channel's going so good that we're going to pump out extra content. This is going to be for you exclusive $1 chads that I'm going to put out an extra video every week just for you that love the Shad Man. Well, no, Red, no, not the Shad Man, the Shadiversity. Sorry, I was thinking the Shad Man, like the Dave Man or the Tim Man or something like that. But then I forgot that Shad Man is like, well, not that. No, do not redeem that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That was just he has an unfortunate name. He has an unfortunate name. Okay. Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. I didn't even, someone was mentioning that earlier in the stream as well. Oh dear. The Mr. Shat. Like, I don't know. Holy shit. That's a very different audience.
Voice, request the content, and then we will then pick the subject based on what we're capable of doing, the resource we have available, and all of that. And there'll be releases, unlisted videos sent out to all our supporters. What's the subject you would like in the next exclusive dedicated video for our supporters? Share in the
I would love everyone to just comment like more Naruto videos. That'd be so funny if both the private content and the public content was all just like anime slop. That'd be very funny. Wait, hold on a second. Katana coat. Yeah, while you were out partying, DWAT, I was studying the blade. All right, Little Virtuoso with a 10 says he's failing his own grift by only charging $1. Dude needs to step it up and charge like $5. He could learn a thing or two from DSP. This is kind of true, and it boggles my mind. But sometimes if you price things too low, people think it's like less quality and they don't want to buy it. It's kind of really silly. And it makes things very difficult if you're trying to sell products because you're like, oh, I want to make a good product. I'll make this. I'll just make like 20% of the thing. And they're like, well, this is so cheap. I wouldn't buy it. I'd rather pay twice the price. Customers are very strange sometimes, and I don't understand them. Anime content is a trap. Oh, that's very funny. That's very funny for the wrong reasons. He could write more books. He is writing more books, actually. I think he mentions that later on.
comments, then we'll pick from amongst those to make the next one. We will share what that video is in the publicly released weekly video, promote it. There'll be somewhat of a trailer for it, and then it'll be released weekly as well. So the minimum kind of content that might be getting released on Shadiversity.
I mean, you joke, but he did do this, Daryl Brooks. Aren't you supposed to be in prison? But with the $2, it says he should sell his AI art to his supporters. He does use AI art in his books for backgrounds and things. So technically he has done this, which some people are very grumpy about. But, you know, Spartacus. Oh, wait, no, it's Spasticus Autisticus. That's a very fantastic name. For £5. It says, watching this video makes me feel like I'm Shad's shrink. It took him 30 minutes to get to his point. You could sail a ship with all the breath he wasted. Well, that's a very interesting insult. I've never heard that one before. When you said breath, I thought you were going to talk about his width, but because I saw some people in the chat saying that. But he's not that bad. He's not that fat. Come on now. He can still fit into his suit of armor. He's not that fat.
Will be now, instead of making 3 long form videos a week, and they are videos that are a bit easy to make with the occasional one that has a bit more effort and production in, because we have to balance filming schedule, we might be making 2 videos a week, both high quality with the resources we have available.
Yeah, I know what you guys.
One of those is going to be released publicly, the other will be exclusive, and then the rest might be shorts content, which will be made focused to kind of promote the long form content. This
is like, it's just like a pyramid scheme of like content, right? So it's like, this is like the good content in his mind. This is like the premium sword content up here. And then he's going to be making long form content, right? And the long form content is the slop. This is like anime and stuff, right? So we got like an anime video here and like a MCU video here. And then he's going to be making shorts off of these content. And these shorts are all going to be promoting the long video. This is what it's going to be like. I'm not sure about this business model. So the shorts promote the long form content. The long form content promotes the good content at the top. I don't know about this. I'm not too keen on this model. It's I don't know. Not sure about that.
seems to be perhaps one of the only sustainable strategies I can foresee going into the future. Now, ideally, I would have loved to have made the more geeky, niche, sword-related content and just release it for free, but it's not a sustainable thing. YouTube is burying nearly every type of video. I got the classic sword content that I built this channel on, completely buried. And so again, that'll be the focus.
It's not true though.
I've been trying many different strategies because as close as I have come to giving up, I am not yet. We'll have to see.
Now, he's going to have to put the emu in the bag. Let's put the emu fries in the bag, Shad.
In terms of reframing the content, there is one type of content that I probably won't.
Right, so this is kind of true, but it's like it's not true at the same time. But there is a time when anything new starts, when there's no money and no meta and everything's new and special, that there's so much diversity of opinion and ideas and crazy things. And then, yeah, when money gets involved, it all kind of, the majority of it definitely tends to follow the meta based on this is sort of true. I kind of agree, kind of disagree. I mean, I make my money from YouTube, so I would probably not be the most unbiased person to make a comment on that, but yeah, I definitely crave the old days sometimes. Think nostalgically back about when the content was just like lol so random for the sake of just making the content. You definitely get into like yeah, I do love ads, unironically. I hate watching them, but I love ads because that's how I make money. It is what it is, boys. And I got kids to feed too eventually.
To be making exclusive, but it is very hit and miss to see if the algorithm will promote it or not. But it is interesting that sometimes these videos can get some measure of traction, and it's sword reviews. They're complete wildcards with what does well and what does poorly. I don't really know why the algorithm decides to push the ones that do well.
Just put the swords in the bag, Shad. Just put the sword reviews in the bag. Like, I think people send him swords for free, so he just needs to, like, he literally needs to become a sellsword. That's so funny. If he just becomes a sellsword, all of his life's problems are solved because he gets sponsorships from the sword companies. Or maybe he's too ethical to accept money from them, I don't know. But they give him swords, he sells the swords, and it talks about how good they are. He gets to smash the swords. He still gets to do his fun thing. This isn't true. This is defamation, I'm sure. Shad has always professed his love for Twilight movies on FNT. I don't think this has got to be some sort of meme from there. I don't believe this to be true. I don't think that he likes Twilight.
Still very niche stuff.
Does he not do? He does do streams. He has a different channel where he does streams, and they do very well apparently. Like his Night's Watch channel is growing faster, I think, than his Shadiversity channel. But he refuses to just focus on the channel that's succeeding, I suppose.
But our last sword review has nearly 80,000 views, which is really good for the current, algorithm.
Then make more sellsword videos
at the moment. And even if they all do really poor, I love making sword reviews. I get to swing swords around, chop stuff up, and destroy them and things. It's just really fun stuff to make. And I love people wanting to send me swords so I can check. I love swords. Get more swords. Get to swing swords. Get to use swords. That's a lot of fun.
Why does he like Twilight? Is he a sparkle vampire supporter? What do you mean? Are we still live? Yeah, we're still live. How's it going, Ika? Having a nice day out there?
So even if they do poorly, if people are still willing to
send me a clip, I want to see him liking Twilight.
Sword reviews. Maybe that'll end up being just more sword review content as well, because that could end up being what the weekly schedule could be if we are able to film 3 videos a week, because that seems to be perhaps what the comfortable workload we can manage. Doing more is a push, and we were pushing ourselves so hard at the end of last.
Like that's kind of crazy. Like my target this year is like 2 videos a month on my other channel. Like I'd be happy if I can get 2 full-length videos out a month. I want to get up to 1 video a week eventually, but the kind of content I make, I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's a lot of travel, a lot of work, a lot of editing. Maybe I need to change my things as well. I certainly do. But it's just like, I got to cut the content down from 5 videos to 3 videos a week. Like maybe you're just doing too much. Like you need to spend the energy somewhere else, or you need to hire someone to edit them maybe, or something. I don't know.
To not only build a backlog to try and see if daily content would work out. hasn't really worked out, but 3 videos a week. So one might be a video framed around what the algorithm might be willing to promote, trending topic, then
So like, what's my other channel? It's not worth recommending content to people if they're not going to watch it. So if you're interested in Japanese travel content, message me on Twitter or Discord or something. It's not worth sharing here because you're going to check it out once, not going to watch it, then it's going to give YouTube a false impression. So that's why I don't recommend my different channels anymore, because you want to give YouTube all the right signals, and just like showing someone that the interest, like it might be a nice interest thing for you, but you're not going to watch the content. So it's like that actually does damage your channel, is like sending the wrong audience to it.
sword review and a dedicated video. That could be the schedule, and then 3 shorts in the week. So it'd be 2 public videos, 1 dedicated for our supporters, which is old school sword content. And I like, when I think about strategy, it feels good, it feels right, because it means the old school content that our niche community still loves is still there. It's still being made. And if you really like it, all you need to do is pay $1, as much as $1 a month, and you can get.
So like, you can support an African child in feeding them for $1 a day, or you can get the exclusive Shad content. What are you going to be? You can choose neither if you really want to abstain from voting. It's fine.
Access to it, and also request now what those dedicated videos will be going into the future. It keeps that type of content alive.
I don't know what happened to Jean. She disappeared one day. That's a good question. I think maybe she got mad because we made fun of certain people. I don't know. Like, Max went pretty hard on one person individual, and maybe she didn't like that. One day she just disappeared. I hope she's okay. She was a very good mod, but she kind of just left. I don't know. It's a good question.
Kind of. But hopefully it'll be a more sustainable strategy, because it's only thanks to our supporters that this is even still viable. And so pleasing the algorithm doesn't work anymore, and which I'm kind of okay with. Like, I like the fact this is incentivizing me more to focus on my most core audience, our supporters. I want to please you guys first and foremost with more attention and content, and I kind of like that. There's another big thing that I'm focusing on this year, with a major, it's not like major focus, major goal, and that is to finish my next novel. I am being restructuring my schedule, my focus.
All right, so Gorga sent us this Twilight thing. We'll check this out briefly. We need a bit of an intermission. There's not really saying anything. All right, so this is a content update from Shad. This is the real Shad M. Brooks, I believe. Yep, 47,000 followers. Wait, hold on a second. Captain Have Fun follows Shad? That's interesting. Okay. I don't know that. Hot take, he says, Shad says. Edward Cullen would beat Blade in a fight, and it's not even close, because Twilight vampires are the most badass, toughest vampires in pop culture. What date was this posted on? October 22nd. Okay. So it wasn't April or anything. What? Proof. They have such high super speed that they could all look like a blur, and they're hard to track with the human eye. They are immune to damage from sunlight. Garlic, silver, wooden stakes. Their bodies are as tough as granite. They have super strength and enhanced senses. They can be as strong. From other blood sources, not restricted to only human blood. They can literally survive being dismembered. If their opponent was even strong enough to break stone apart, it takes father. What? And it takes father fire. What the fuck is father fire? It takes father fire to kill them. And with Edward specifically, he can read his opponent's mind and can see what moves you're going to make beforehand. He is hundreds of years old, and why is he hanging around with teenagers in a high school then? That's a bit weird. It's a bit sus. And once led a life as a type of crime fighter, and so he has heaps of experience and training. All of Blade's vampire-specific techniques in using silver, sunlight, or garlic would fail. His sword would not be able to cut him, and the bullets would bounce off his body because they're as tough as stone, if he could even hit him, because Edward can dodge bullets. Is Edward just like Goku or something? I've never seen Twilight. Edward is way faster and stronger, and on top of that, Edward can read Blade's mind, resulting in Blade not even be able to touch him. Edward could literally rip Blade apart, even without trying, let alone cutting off his head with super speed, running slash. So he could literally teleport behind him and nothing personal kill him. Okay. his granite claw hands cope and seethe, but Blade doesn't even stand a chance. And it says, Twilight, how it should have ended, and there's Blade in the background. And for a follow-up, if Blade gets preparation time, so does Edward. And Edward has a sister that can literally see the future, and Edward can read her thoughts. How does he know this much about Twilight? Like, this is a little bit suspect. There is absolutely no way Blade could devise a plan to beat Edward that Edward would not know beforehand and counter. And then Nerdrotic responds saying, you are gay and wrong. You are gay and wrong. Destroyed. How come Edward's sister couldn't read his mind and prevent that owning from happening, I wonder? Holy shit, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I have to. All right, thank you for sending that through, Gorga. Much appreciated.
And my goal is to finish the first draft within 6 months in the new year. And so far, I'm on track. It's looking good, and man, I'm excited for it. The book is turning out.
This is a pretty good reason. This is a pretty good reason to enjoy Twilight. Thank you, D-Watt. Cool story.
Be the best thing I've ever written. This is so much fun, and I have some big plans for its release. And so, depending on when I get the first draft done, there's of course the editing process, and then producing the actual release novel, and that still could take some time. And so, my goal is at least this year to have it released, but definitely get the first draft done this first 6 months.
Like this is something crazy work ethic. Like he's gonna do 3 shorts a week and 3 long form videos a week, and then he's gonna have a book out in 6 months. And maybe just settle down, boy. Like maybe that's just maybe there is such a thing as working too much.
And guys,
he's got that Sigma grind set, I guess.
New series, medieval fantasy. I'm putting into practice nearly all the things that I've talked about in my Fantasy Realm series, and there's a lot to be excited about this next book.
All right, Chad. Wait, Chads, you're eating well, okay? The book's coming. 6 more months and lots of videos.
Oh, Dan, I'm like this close to releasing what the title is, because I have the main title of the book and I'm still deciding what the title of the series, because this is the beginning of a series where Shadow the Conqueror was a standalone with sequel potential. Still would like to do some sequels for it in the future, but it's a more self-contained story. This is the beginning of a new series, a medieval fantasy world.
All right, so now he's just shilling his book. All right, so I did watch this video beforehand, but we're not going to really have time to go through this. But this is a video he posted 1 month ago, and this is when I'm close to giving up. Proof the algorithm is determined to kill his channel. I have not seen evidence that the algorithm is killing his channel. I think from this video, from the last 3 videos that I've seen of his, so that is the YouTube is killing this channel, Shadiversity is dying, I'm this close to giving up, and this one we watched tonight together, sword content on YouTube is dead, now what? I have not seen evidence that the YouTube is targeting him or sword content. What I have seen is changes in what audiences like, and that sword content is niche content that is not as popular as it used to be. And it seems like Shad is refusing to accept this. And furthermore, when people tell him that they're not interested in that content, he sees them as outliers. And I say that the YouTube is not suppressing his content because his content is being recommended quite a bit. For example, this video was recommended over 600,000 times. If I go to my own channel and let me see, what is a good, so I'll get a video that's sort of a similar content, even though I haven't posted one of them very recently. Let me see. I guess it's the reach tab. So I have a video. My last video that I uploaded, that was like a real video, got 370,000 impressions. So he's getting more impressions than I am. I mean, that's not a surprise because he does have more subscribers than I do. But if you're getting impressions, then YouTube is recommending you. And if you're getting a lot of impressions, and this is a lot of impressions, you need to either improve your click-through rate or improve your title or improve the view time duration. So it seems like this is a lot of cope. Like we went through and we decided, is this cope or is this real? I think this is cope. And one of Shad's problems as well is that he seems like he doesn't know which way he wants to go, and he's being torn between two decisions that is probably splitting his audience in two. So he's got the pop culture audience and the very niche audience, and he wants to support for the niche audience, but the views are all with the pop culture trends, things like that. So I hope Shad figures it out, but I don't think he's being treated unfairly. In fact, this video he made here, this video is examining Sword Fight, a Shadiversity short film. This content is totally something different to his regular content. And the fact that YouTube gave this such a chance is really evidence that they are not suppressing his content. In fact, giving him maybe more than the regular person. So it's kind of funny because, like I said, 8 months ago, we watched this video and we went through and came to similar conclusions. And then, like I said, I remember every single comment and I remember every single chatter. And one person said, every 6 months, Shad complains that his channel's dying and he makes a video like this. And it was 7 months later that the next one came out. That was this one. And then it was 1 month later that this one came out. And this one was more or less an ad saying that he's going to put the content, he's going to do more slop content. He's going to chase the algorithm and just make what he thinks is going to get views, not what he wants. And then he's going to put the stuff he actually wants behind a paywall. Might not be a terrible idea. So will he survive? We'll have to see. For the poll, almost 750 over 750 people voted, not almost. And he said, is Shad onto anything? 18% said he's cooking. 52% said he's cooked, and 30% liked the stream. So thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. These sort of streams are in of themselves a little bit esoteric. It's a little bit more niche. And I was very much surprised that over 400 people stayed the entire duration. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. We might take a look at the Assassin's Creed cover-up in the following stream, which may or may not be tomorrow. We'll have to, depends, because I might have someone coming over. That's the thing. Might have a guest that I have to entertain. But that's really interesting. If you haven't seen it, Assassin's Creed is censoring content that is critical of them. And particularly, they're censoring a Japanese man that is trying to talk about why it's stupid. And I'll give you an example of one thing that's kind of funny. Let me see if I can find this. Shit, I forgot the name of the guy. Oh, wait, no, I think I saved it on my to-do list. Let me see if I've got this here. This is a little bit funny. This is a little bit funny if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I saved it because I'm smart and I save things that are useful. Well, this is one of the things. But the Assassin's Creed people are absolutely losing the plot. Go crying, go crying, go crying, go crying. Very cool Assassin's Creed news. Go crying, go crying, go crying. They're absolutely losing the plot. I think it was this guy. Who is a man that actually studies the blade in Japan. This man could probably beat Shad in a sword fight because he actually studies the blade. He studies karate, aikido, and running. But he had one thing I want to look if I can find it. I think it was on his timeline. Hopefully there's no risky material here because I'm scrolling very, very quickly. All right, this is what people are complaining about recently. So this is Yasuke, the African samurai. And as you can see, it's Japan, but there is Sakura, which means it's spring, but there's also watermelons. And watermelons only exist in Japan in the summer, especially in feudal Japan. And the question is, why is there watermelons and Sakura together in the same picture? There's two reasons there could be watermelons here. One of the reasons could be to test their sword physics and maybe to slice them up. The second reason, well, you'll have to tune into next stream while we will think about that. A man's got to eat, perhaps. That could be the reason. There's a lot of other stuff, but it goes to show you the inaccuracies that Ubisoft is making with Assassin's Creed. And there's a lot of other little details like that. But like, it's these little details that really piss off the Japanese people. But all of the Japanese people that are saying there is inaccuracies in this game are being shut down because they're saying that they're just, they don't like Yasuke. And the funny thing is that Yasuke, the African samurai, his entire story in history, like in history, not in this game, but in history, is one page in a notebook, essentially. And the guy that wrote his entire fan fiction history was a white guy working in Tokyo University. And his source was he made it up. He made it all up. So we might check that out in the following stream, like I said, but I hope you had a good time tonight. I had a fun time. I like these sort of analysis streams. They're very chill for me. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Have a safe time out there. Stay safe, peace, and see ya. Bye.